my mother won't mind, and my father won't spite you for your lack of kind. And she stepped away from me, and this she did say, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and she moved through the fair, and fondly I watched her go here and go there, and she went her way homeward with one star away, as the swan in the evening moved over the lake. The people were saying that no two were wed, but one has a sorrow that never was said. And I smiled as she passed me with her goods and her gear, and that was the last that I saw of my dear.
All right, welcome once again to HeroQuest fans. Sorry, we just had a little bit of setup time there. Just want to welcome everybody who's watching us on Twitch. And of course, as usual, on a Friday, we are live on Twitch. And the replay will be on YouTube 24 hours after the stream ends, thereabouts. So I just need to let the, sorry folks, just need to let the Discord know that we are starting. And I'll go ahead and link the Discord. Well, you should be able to see the link to the Discord on the screen there before you. Let's hope everybody's doing well. So I understand last night, not exactly HeroQuest news, but the Strange Bus was doing a live playthrough of, which many people have been talking about for the last couple days, Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah, where did that come from? Just out of left field. Duke Nukem Forever was a first-person shooter game that was infamously delayed and delayed and delayed. I remember going to E3 in 2000 Electronic Entertainment Expo as a reporter for JediKnight.net back in the day. Not a big deal. I was a small-time guy. But anyway, yeah, they showed this video for Duke Nukem Forever, and it looked like it was going to be a cool game. I kind of hadn't bought into the hype. I thought, yeah, who cares? It's just Duke Nukem. I mean, Duke Nukem 3D was kind of this edgy, over-the-top first-person shooter. You know, the original Duke Nukem games, spelled differently, but it was a platform shooter on, like the Tandy. I remember that, EGA. You know, it was kind of fun. It was a little more violent, had a little more adult content, but it was for immature audiences. But yeah, it looked like it was a first-person shooter. You didn't have Jedi powers or anything, but there was a lot more stuff you could do. Like almost every object could be interacted with. There was like vending machines and like pinball machines, and of course Duke Nukem would make, you know, he had catchphrases, so he was like Roddy Piper or Ash from Evil Dead, and he would just make these catchphrases all the time. And anyway, yeah, the game was delayed and it went through what they call development hell, went from company to company, and then finally it was released in 2011, I believe, and it was not very good. I mean, it couldn't decide whether it wanted to be a modern first-person shooter or like a throwback classic first-person shooter. And by that time, nobody cared, and they'd spent so much money on it, it was just quickly forgotten. But recently, I guess the source or the files for an earlier version of the game was leaked or released unofficially online, and it's actually playable. So people have been streaming it, people have been playing it. I haven't played it myself, but I did watch Strange Bus do part of his stream, and a couple other people did videos showing, you know, Duke Nukem running around, blowing stuff up. So it was kind of fun. It was kind of cool. And actually, I mean, that looked like the game that I would have been interested in. I stopped caring about it long before it was finally officially really released. So it'll be interesting to see if any fans who do care can use the Unreal Engine and make patches and put it together and make it something playable and make it kind of fun. So if you're interested in all that, Duke Nukem Forever, go check out Strange Bus. Go check out, I think, is it Vsauce? I don't know. A bunch of people, like tons of people now, have posted videos about it. So anyway, nothing to do with HeroQuest, but that's the big deal out right now. I was checking HeroQuest. I always look at the Twitter for Zargon, but no news, so I haven't seen any news. But anyway, my plan today was just to do another reading, Fellowship of Four, because we had a good time doing that, and we didn't quite get the good ending, so still doing some of that interactive game book live reading. And I've added a whole bunch of stuff to the stream experience for Twitch. So obviously, as you see before you, these overlays were created by Elviler. Thank you again for doing that. It was very nice. I was going to do my own, but he beat me to the punch, and I'm honored to use that community-created content. And the thing is, really, I mean, HeroQuest Fans is the name of our channel, name of our stream, name of our Discord, and I always intended it to be, you know, a little community of HeroQuest fans for HeroQuest fans by HeroQuest fans. So if you contribute something, I mean, I'm happy to use it if it furthers the experience. So all credit to Elviler for creating these. Nice work. I really like him. So he's got a couple of different ones that he contributed. He also contributed some other cool graphics. I'll show you real quick what he made here. So again, this is all his contribution, and you know, obviously he manipulated images from the existing game material, which is cool. Gives it that feel, that theme. There's all kinds of little things in the chat that you can use now with your gold coins. But yeah, so this is just an example of something he created. So check that out. So we've got the Armorer shop. So he went ahead and made a quick little version without the descriptions of each of the things that you can buy in the armory. But I see he also added the rapier and the hand axe and the bracers. So when we're playing the remake version of the game, I mean, those are all things that you can buy at the prices that they offer in the Hasbro remake, so that's cool. He also put up the Alchemist shop for reference there, and you can see the little icon. It shows the Barbarian potions that only he can use, and then the Elf potions that only he can use. Now, he didn't put descriptions, but he put the gold value. So this could be a little intertitle thing that we could use for fun to try to do it like a quick reference. So thank you for that. And of course, we have the new BRB screen. Be right back. The starting soon screen. He made that as well. Got this intermission. I just threw that together. This was when I realized he was making this elaborate thing for me. I'm like, sure, I will use that instead. But yeah, I mean, if I make some other stuff later, that'll be fine. But he went to all that effort, so happy to use it. Yeah, so in the Twitch stream, if you're watching us live on Twitch, you can actually go into the chat, and I think you at least have to have a Twitch account to use it, but you get channel points called gold coins, and they build up just from you being in the chat, just lurking, whether you're participating or not. Now, if you do certain things like subscribe, you get a whole bunch more. So I'm not saying you have to give us money. If you want to, of course, we're happy to accept it. We appreciate it. It goes towards improving the stream, supporting HeroQuest fans. You know, I've pretty much bought everything that I'm gonna buy for this stream. I mean, yeah, I joke about getting a couple new cameras and a couple new lights, and eventually I'll need to get a new computer because I'd run this whole thing off a laptop, believe it or not. But I'm not trying to spend elaborate amounts of money because this is just a hobby. And yeah, one day when the Frozen Horror comes to retail, I'll buy that, but that's only $50. So it's not like I need huge amounts of money. I'm not here to e-bag or anything. But who knows where things will go down the line. And so we'll keep our options open, but I want to keep this as a fun hobby, again, to support HeroQuest fans, to enjoy my love of the hobby of HeroQuest, whether it's these books, whether it's the board game, whether it's related games like Battle Masters or Space Crusade. I mean, there's PC games of HeroQuest and Space Crusade out there. There's all kinds of stuff that we could do. So let me check the Discord just to see, and I'll check the stream as well. So we signed up for this sound alerts thing, and I'm not quite sure if it's set up correctly. So if you use your gold coins to like buy a sound and play it, it may not work. So I would advise you not to do that right now. But some of the other things you can do with your gold coins, so you can choose options. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you can see in your chat right now, if you're on Twitch, it'll say choose option 1, only takes 1 gold coin, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we're reading these books, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure, if you remember those from the 80s and 90s. You'll come to an option, and let's say it'll be, where's one? Oh yeah. So one of them will say like, okay, look at the desk, look at the mirror, go upstairs, or go down to the cellar. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 options, right? So if you want to vote in the chat for option 1, option 2, 3, 4. It's pretty simple. So that's how we're going to be doing it. And of course, if nobody's around or nobody wants to make an option, let the GM decide. I'll go ahead and just make a decision to move the story along. That's how it'll work. Now, when we're playing a live game of HeroQuest, the board game, is going to be a little bit different. So let me just go ahead and try to show you what I'm talking about here. So we've got our window capture. Actually, let me show you real quick. There's the character sheet that we're using. Just threw that up in paint.net, which is my favorite paint program. You don't need to see all the menus. It's kind of boring. But yeah, so we'll just be using that as our character sheet for the game. For the Fellowship of Four book. But that's not what I wanted to show you. I also wanted to show you this. Let's grab our browser window here. Okay. So there you should be able to see what I'm talking about with the Twitch stream. So look over on the right there. So those are the options. This is what I see. Now I get infinite gold, and I'm not trying to cheat or anything. So my thought is anybody who wants to contribute, go ahead and vote. Majority vote will carry the day. Other things we can look at here. So we've got, let me just show you some of the other options. Okay, so you click on this icon here that says gold coins, this little purple and gold thing. So there's other things you can choose from. So you've got error. So that's just something you could click on to show me that there's a problem with the stream, kind of get my attention. Of course, you've got this gray, let the GM decide. Pretty generic, pretty straightforward. Now if we're playing the board game, we've got search for secret doors. That's an option. Assuming it's appropriate, of course. If it's not appropriate, if it doesn't work, I'm just going to ignore it. But if it does work, we'll consider it. Search for traps down here. Search for treasure, of course. We've got use magic or alchemy, depending on what it is. Now I just made that 10 gold instead of just 1. Now you've got this American football symbol here. This is an uncommon feat for a hero. So when we're playing the board game, that's a house rule that I really enjoyed using, which basically if the player who is controlling one of the heroes decides that there is a plausible feat, a plausible action that they could do, you know, in universe, in story, they can pitch that to me, the GM, or whoever's controlling Zargon, Morcar, the evil GM wizard. Go ahead and explain what you're trying to do, and if I accept it, if the GM approves, we'll go ahead and roll 1 combat die. And the way I've been doing it thus far is, so this is the HeroQuest combat die I'm talking about. There's a 50% chance of success. So if it lands on a skull, then you succeed. So we'll just roll with whatever happens there and accept the consequences. If it's anything else, it fails. So it's kind of a fun little thing, but that's with the board game. Other options here we've got, and I tried to make this themed, you know, with original board game of HeroQuest. So highlight my message for 25 gold, just a goofy little thing. Unlock a random sub-emote, so that's 100. Name generator, it's 100, so you can name a character or place or item or whatever in the story for 100 gold. Suggest a poll for 100 gold. Choose an emote to unlock. That's 125. Send a message in sub chat or sub only mode. Well, we don't really have many subs and we haven't used that much, so that probably won't get used for a while. That's 150. Modify a single emote, that's 250. So we just have a few emotes like orcs and goblins and skeletons and things. You could like throw sunglasses on an orc or make him like bob around. It's kind of a goofy thing. For 300 gold, you can reshuffle the deck. So that's just more of a balancing thing. Like if you feel like people are just getting bad cards over and over again, and maybe I didn't shuffle very well, that could be a suggestion. 500 gold, bonus monster for Zargon. So during a board game session, that's really going to help the bad guys. We give them a bonus monster. Sorry, music's kind of loud there. So yeah, Strange Bus used that on the last time we played. That was fun. Guide the raid. So at the end of the stream, we like to raid another channel, a friendly channel on a similar topic. So if you want to be the one that does it for 500 gold coins, you can do that. Bonus potion for hero. So 500 gold. So we did have a couple situations where a hero was dying and it was basically going to be game over for that character. And somebody could contribute 500 gold coins to the chat to save them, give them a last minute save. Or it doesn't have to be just in that situation. It could be like they're about to face a tough battle give them something that may or may not help them. Of course, it's up to the GM's discretion. So, yeah, if they're really far away, maybe a potion of speed for them to get where they need to go. If they're about to face a bunch of like icy rivers or something, maybe a potion of warmth to protect them. You know, something like that. So, but usually it'll be a last minute potion of healing. Again, though, this is not real money. You're not spending real dollars to do this. This is just channel points, which are known as gold coins. Got a mod pole. That probably won't be used for a while. Now we got the sound alerts just for fun, but those, I don't think those are working yet. But anyway, that's the rundown. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit more fun. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, none of that matters. It'll just be, you'll understand what we're talking about when we talk about people spending gold to do stuff. This is not the same as bits, like using bits to cheer, like you buy those. So I would advise caution on those because I don't want this to be a microtransaction stream. I mean, only give us money if you want us to have your money. If you've got it to spend, don't break the bank on our account because this is all just for fun. You know, go donate it to a worthy charity. You know, Shadzar's still out there. If he needs help, go ahead and give it to his Streamlabs tip. Choose option 6. Okay, thanks. I assume you're just testing there. Thanks for testing. Yeah, because I anticipated that, yeah, people will be testing stuff or just give us a nonsensical option. In that case, we'll just ignore it. But yeah, none of the above. So it's where appropriate. So sometimes you'll only get 2 choices. Obviously, we only would accept votes for the 1 and 2 or whatever. But yeah, let me welcome everybody in the chat here. As you can see, we're just taking our sweet time, just kind of a relaxing beginning today. Now, if we had some really big news, I'd be jumping on that. But not a lot of news in the world of HeroQuest at this time. We're still just kind of waiting around for Avalon Hill to let us know what's coming up. That's okay. So welcome to 0AX2, another TV viewer. Do My Montalto, Lurks, PM, who just tested out the option 6. Welcome. So we got some new people today. Saralna, Six Flags, Magic Mountain, Sound Alerts, and WinSant24. So thanks to Sound Alerts, we are using some of their goofy sounds. Now I know those can be abused, so I tried to make it so that, you know, they did cost some gold. They weren't just going to be used just randomly, but yeah, if you want to scream about John Cena or whatever, you can. But we need to kind of tweak that a little bit. So anyway, thanks for making those available. We do appreciate, you know, the effort to make streams a little more fun with randomness. All right, and let's take a look at the Discord here. Looks like my Twitch doesn't work. You don't see what I'm writing. Well, PMG, I'll let you in on a little secret. I see you, but I don't always, I kind of get wrapped up in what I'm saying, and maybe I won't be looking at the chat. So that's my fault there. My bad. Sorry. All right. So yeah, if you want to participate in the Twitch experience, you can either do so through the chat, like I've been showing you, or you can go on Discord. You can go to HeroQuest Fans on Discord, and there's many links to our HeroQuest Fans Discord. But once you're there, you go over to Voice Channels, and you can click on Quest Talk. If you click on Quest Talk, of course, you got to have your microphone on and unmuted for all you noobs out there. I mean, I was a noob when it came to Discord at one time. I'm still learning a lot about it. So yeah, you can go there and you can talk to us live. So it's like a call-in show. It's like a radio show, talk show. Now, obviously, if things get out of hand, if people abuse it, we're going to mute and all that stuff. But I think for the most part, it can be a way for us to interact a little more. We can even play live games. We've done it. It's a lot of fun. So I really like that feature. And so shout out to everybody who's here. All right. I think with all that preamble out of the way, I think we're finally ready to get started. Hi, Dumai Montalto, welcome. Yeah, if I don't acknowledge you in the chat, it doesn't mean I don't care. It just means that I'm probably distracted and not looking at it right away. So that's another nice thing about having moderators. So we do have a few moderators. I know that they can't always be here at the same time, but the idea would be that they can also help me manage all the different sources there. So yeah, so thanks to everybody who helped us get to where we are today. I mean, we're at 56 followers at this time. So we've surpassed the affiliate status, which is awesome, which is great. Thank you everybody that helped with that. And we're on our way to 60. So next goal would be 60, and on and on and on. I don't know if we'll reach partner, but you know, that's kind of a long ways off. But anyway, I said we were going to get started, so let's get back to the game. Okay, so let's see here. What I want to do is we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go back. Okay, so we're playing Fellowship of Four. So this is a game book based on the HeroQuest board game. This was by author Dave Morris from 1991. And of course, I always thank him because he released his books for free online. He approved their release. If you want to go to Fableland's blog, you can download copies of them for free in PDF format, or I think one of them is in document format. But anyway, if the links aren't working, just email him. He's really nice. He'll just send you like a link that works, so it's great. Other people have actually scanned them, but the PDFs and the doc files are nice because you can like do text search, and so you can find where you were. So, but whatever you like. The first part of the book is always just a plain old story. Just this one's told from the perspective of the four heroes: the barbarian, wizard, elf, and dwarf. Each one is from their own point of view, and then they meet up and they have an adventure, and it's a new adventure. It's not exactly like the one in the board game. And then the next section is a choose your own adventure, and that's what we've been doing. So I'll skip the rules for this one because we pretty much know what we're doing now, finally, after several adventures. So it's called In the Night Season. All right, so let's see where we are. So about 30 minutes in. 27 minutes, 42 seconds, not too bad. I tend to get long-winded, so we're going to start the adventure. So everybody's got their default body, mind, starting gear. The wizard has his spells, of course. We use the single D6 for combat. And it's interesting because the last time we played, there was no combat. There was no actual time when we needed the combat dice, which was interesting. But that can happen when you're playing. So it was more like a straight-up choose-your-own adventure. I mean, yeah, we had items and things. Yeah. So I just chose to have two different dice. One for the bad guys, one for the good guys, just to kind of keep track. Okay. So let's finally get started here. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat a little bit better this time. But yeah, just give me a few seconds to kind of keep up. But yeah, we will be favoring the Twitch chat. That's kind of how this goes. But yeah, at this time, what we'll be using our gold coins for is you can vote for option 1, 2, 3, and 4 when we get a choice, or 5 and 6 if there's more choices. Usually it'll just be 1 or 2 choices. And if I'm trying to think, I don't think you would really use any of the other options, really. I mean, there's really no... The way the book works, I mean, potions aren't quite the same and things like that. So just focus on the options 1 through 6 as needed. Or just warn me if there's an error or something like that. Okay, so of course the turn order, if you're following along at home, we've got first the barbarian. And of course he has a bastard sword, body of 8, mind of 2. Then we've got the wizard, is second in line. He's got the earth spells, heal body, rock skin, and pass through rock. Air spells, tempest, swift wind, genie. And fire spells, ball of flame, courage, and fire of wrath. His only weapon is the dagger. And of course you need a weapon to be able to parry. That's something for combat. The wizard has body of 4, mind of 6. Number 3 in order, of course, is the elf, our other magic user or alchemist user. Alchemist? Yeah, just an alchemist. Body of 6, mind of 4. His weapon is a sword, just a plain old sword. I'm going to guess it's a short sword, but it's a sword. And he has 3 spells from the water group. So he's got Sleep, Water, Feeling, and Veil of Mist. And then last but not least is the dwarf. Body of 7, mind of 3. His weapon is a battle axe, and he also carries the money pouch, which contains 20 silver pieces. And the dwarf's special ability is he's good at locating traps and secret doors in this game. Alright. So if all 4 of our heroes die, then the game is over. But there's other ways the game can end. So the last time we played, we didn't quite... I mean, we got an ending, but we didn't quite get the best ending. So we're going to try it again. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, we'll just start here. Alright. Your travels have brought the 4 of you to Naklar, an eldritch country beyond Blackfire Pass. It was from west of this wild wasteland of fells and fens that in ancient times the King of the Dead sent his legions against the living. Fortunately, he was defeated by heroes of that bygone era. There are those who say he lies buried at the heart of one of the granite tors that you can see thrusting up from the barren moorland. You turn away from the window, preferring the cheery warmth of the inn to the bleak moonlight landscape outside. As you sup your ale, however, you cannot help noticing how quiet it is in the tap room. None of the locals seems at all curious about you, even though it must be rare for them to meet people from more than a few miles away. Rather than ask you about your adventures, they just sit in silence, staring morosely into their mugs. The door bangs open, and entering along with the cold and autumn's dead leaves comes a tall old man in a shag coat. He forces the door closed against the rush of night wind, and then crosses the tap room to converse in low whispers with the landlord and some of the elders. From the sighs and grim shakes of the head, you deduce that some weighty matter is being discussed. Eventually, the tall fellow fetches a cup of mulled ale and brings it over to stand by the fire. He looks chilled to the bone and deeply worried. Alright, so here comes our first choice, everybody who's listening. Looks like we've got an ad going. So let me just pause for a moment. And I hope you're enjoying the royalty-free music. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, I think, or a moderator, perhaps, it will skip the ads for you. We've got 2 choices. Choice, or option number 1, if you ask him what's going on, turn to 4. If you decide to mind your own business, turn to 15. So option 1 or option 2. You can vote now, or wait for the ad to be over and then vote. Okay, so we just got back from a little ad break there. So I've tried to manage the ads a little bit more because we are an affiliate, so we do get those ads occasionally. Sorry about that. That's the rule that they make us put up with. There we go. So we've got our first choice. So the tall fellow fetches a cup of mulled ale and brings it over to stand by the fire. He looks chilled to the bone and deeply worried. So option 1, ask what's going on. Option 2, mind your own business. So we've got 1 vote so far for Piemg. He votes for option 4. We've only got 2 options, dude, so sorry to call you dude if you unless you are, in which case I honor you, dude. Okay, so option 4 we can't count. It's either option 1 or 2. So Al Weiler votes for option 1. Talk to the guy. Piemg, I hope I'm saying that right, votes for option 1. Changed his vote. Okay. So we have 2 votes for option 1. I think we're going to go with that unless anybody else has an objection. We also have a timer. Let me just throw that up real quick. I'll just give you guys 30 seconds if you want to, anybody else wants to make a choice. Option 1 or option 2? Piemg. That's how you say it? Am I saying it right? Piemg? like Beam G. Yeah, I feel like I mispronounce everyone's name on here because I don't know how you say it. It means something to you, but it doesn't mean anything to me until I've gotten to know you, and thank you for the clarification. It was for turn to 4. Oh, I see. Yeah, just ignore the paragraph numbers. Just go option 1 or 2. Need some rock, paper, scissors icons for the tiebreakers. Ah, Elviler, thanks for the suggestion. I'll think about that. That could be kind of fun. Yeah, there's all kinds of things we could do. Sky's the limit at this point. It's just my ability to take time to create the icons. Okay, option 1. Obviously, the adventure is going to take way longer because of all the banter and deciding. At your invitation, he eases himself onto a stool beside your table and introduces himself as Daus the Glim, a local wise man. In my younger days, I used to sort out messes of trouble hereabouts, he tells you. These days, the old bones creak too much, though. So, you ask, what's all the commotion about tonight? Oh, a bad business, and that's the truth, he says solemnly. Gives his cup a laborious look, and then adds, Have you noticed what a poor lonely sight an empty ale mug makes? If you buy him another mug of ale, the dwarf must agree to this since it's his money. Turn to 26, if not 37. Okay, so we've got a choice again. We do have 20 silver pieces. Do we buy him a mug of ale, option 1? Or do we not buy him any ale, option 2? Option 1, buy him the drink. Option 2, don't buy him the drink. I mean, we got to be resourceful here. How are we going to get information out of these locals? But I'll let you guys decide. So vote now with your gold in the chat in Twitch. Option 1, buy the old gentleman a mug. Okay, PMG voted for option 1. He says we should buy it. Anybody else? Ah, welcome to the Strange Bus. Buy ale. Oh, come on, you're not going to spend any gold to make the choice? I mean, I believe you, Strange Bus, but yeah, we were just talking about you earlier. You had a cool stream you did about the Duke Nukem Forever leaked build. The Duke Nukem Forever leaked build from 2001. So I only caught a part of it because I was watching a movie and then I went to bed. So I'll have to check it out later. But yeah, everybody check out the Strange Bus here on Twitch and on YouTube if you haven't already. Friend of the stream, cool guy. Covers retro games and now some of the same things that we do too, which is awesome. Okay, so it looks like so far we've got within a highlight. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fair warning to everyone who is unfamiliar with Duke Nukem. So the series in general is for mature audiences or immature audiences. It includes edgy stuff, like we're talking not safe for work stuff. So language, imagery. It's not for kids. Okay, so adult supervision. You probably want to screen it first. Yeah, and there's patches people have released to kind of tone it down just a little bit so that you can show it in public without getting flagged and demonetized or whatever. But yeah, mature content warning on that stuff. All right, so I think it's fair to say that we're going to buy the guy a mug of ale. So we'll go with that. Thank you, everyone, for participating. So we'll go to 26 for that. Ah, 'tis true, gentlefolk you are, says Daus, as you call the landlord over to fill his cup. The dwarf should cross off 1 silver piece. After he has taken a thirsty swig, he starts to tell you the tale. All right, before we get into that tale, let's go ahead and keep ourselves honest here. We'll cross off a silver piece from the dwarf's character sheet. So we're playing Fellowship of 4. Whoops. Okay. Not my best there, but it'll have to do for now. All right. Okay, so he begins the tale. Oh, but first he takes the thirsty swig. It is the poor milkmaid, Perdita, from the village you see. She has been spirited away, and there's no doubt she'll have been taken to the old manse that lies out over the moor. It was the house of Grim Dugald, as black-hearted a devil as ever wore a man's face. And since his death, not a soul has been there and come back to tell of it. Now it's the haunt of goblins and dead things. Surely the villagers will band together and attempt to rescue, you say. He shakes his head and sighs. On any other night, perhaps, we might reckon on a handful who are brave enough, but this is Samhain Eve, when the unseen folk go abroad on the moors and work all manner of wild witchery. No one dares venture out tonight, and in the morning, no doubt, poor Perdita will be found cold and dead in a ditch. Wow. If you resolve to go to the haunted manse and rescue the maid, that's option 1. Or option 2, if you prefer to keep to the safety of the inn, turn to option 2. Okay, so rescue, option 1. Stay in the inn, option 2. All right, so Strange Bus votes for option 2. Well, are we going to stay in the inn? Elviler voted for option 1. We have our first conflict. Okay, so each of you will be issued weapons and you have to fight to the death. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have the rock, paper, scissors yet thing. Now, I can be a tiebreaker. It's Friday, I'm feeling lazy. Redeemed mod poll. Oh, well, see, that's not really fair, because if there's only one mod, it's just going to be you. Okay, so PMG voted for option 2, stay in the inn. So we got 2 votes for staying in the inn. Well, I mean, I feel like this is the poll. Yeah, we've got a lot of options. We got to figure out what they mean. All right. So option 2, option 2, option 1. Looks like option 2 is leading. I think we're gonna stay in the inn this time, unless anybody else wants to vote. All right, let me pull up the timer. We're gonna give people 30 seconds if they want to add their own vote with the gold coins. All right, so option 1 is to attempt the rescue. Or I guess you're just declaring that you're going to attempt the rescue. Option 2 is to stay in the safety of the inn. Let me just check the roster here of who we've got tonight. Thanks to everyone who joined, of course, as always. Of course, we welcome Elviler and Strange Bus. Just check Discord here. Yeah, PMG also joined the Discord, so thank you for doing that. All right, I think that's been enough time. So we're gonna stay in the safety of the inn. Some adventurers you are. You've not even got the gumption to get involved when you see there's something wrong. How do you ever expect to be heroes? Obviously, you'd rather just stay by the comfort of the hearth with your beer. Perhaps later on in the evening, you'll be so daring as to risk a game or 2 of darts. It's clear that you're not cut out for swashbuckling, and so the adventure ends here before it's even begun. The end. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today on HeroQuest Fans. Kind of a shorter adventure today, but we did get to the end, so that's what can happen when you're playing Fellowship of 4 by Dave Morris. Thanks everybody for participating, but we did block out the hour, well, more than the hour. I've got till 4 p.m. Central Time here, so if we want to attempt another adventure, we certainly can. looks like we're going to have to go ahead and take him up on the offer if we want to continue. We won, but we didn't get anything. Of course, that's kind of what happened last time. I mean, we killed the bad guy, which was awesome. We didn't save Perdita. We didn't get any treasure. We tried, but yeah, many possible endings. Yeah, the old Choose Your Own Adventure books, they used to advertise, choose from over 40 possible endings or 20 possible endings. I was like, oh, cool. So you'd read it and you deliberately make, foolish choices just so you could see all the ways that you died or whatever. Okay, so if we backtrack and say, okay, we go back to the beginning. The guy walks in. We ask him what's going on. That's 4. Buy him the ale. It's 26. And if we just go ahead and make an executive decision, do you play sometimes the board game? Oh yeah, PMG. Let me just tell you real quick how I usually do things. I mean, we try to work around people's schedules because everybody's got their own thing going. Usually today on a Friday, I'll just talk about HeroQuest, some aspect of the game. If there's something in the news, talk about that. Maybe talk about some mod that we've been working on, whatever. That's just kind of like the talk day. But I like these because they're still interactive. And then on Saturday, from 6 to 10 p.m. Central Time, I'll actually play the game live. That's what we've been doing. So we'll actually set up the board, we'll actually point the cameras, and if people are around, we'll actually have them talking on Discord, telling me what they want their hero to do, and we'll just move around, and we'll actually play a whole quest. So, yeah. That's what we've been doing. We've done several games on YouTube. We did the Xanon Pass, which took forever. That was the Barbarian Quest Pack, Frozen Horror, because that's going to be released by Hasbro in remake form in September. So I'm glad you asked. But yeah, go to YouTube, XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans. You can watch hours and hours of games we've been playing. It's really fun. So really awesome. And you're welcome to participate too if you want. I think this weekend, I'm not sure, Strange Bus, of course, has been playing with us. If he's available, we'd love to play him. We've also gotten PSK Studio, known as Knucklehead, also on Twitch. He's played with us before. He brought a friend, Blue Star, who played. Let's see what else. Yeah, next week, if all goes well, Amalgamash from YouTube. I forgot to mention this. Amalgamash, he's done a lot of HeroQuest videos. He mostly does, on YouTube, like indie gaming stuff. But he's done several like HeroQuest related videos. And I've been wanting to do a collab with him for quite a while. And he said, yeah, let's do it. So probably not on our Friday or Saturday, but probably on Tuesday we're going to try to do something like that. So if all goes well, we'll be doing some type of live game. I think we'll probably just do like a chat to get started. But once we get into the groove, we'll go ahead and play. So yeah, maybe as a barbarian. Well, don't worry if your English is poor. I mean, what language do you speak? Oh man, yeah. If you like Star Wars, especially Star Wars games, the Strange Bus, he's got Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2, and he's got KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. 2 great PC games from back in the day. Okay, so Strange Bus is going to join us. Well, PMG, if you want to play or watch us play tomorrow, we'll have a live stream on Twitch. And unfortunately, I got to wait 24 hours before I post it on YouTube. Again, I've talked about just recording stuff directly for YouTube just so that those people don't miss out. French. Yes, let me show you something. So you might already know about this, and if you have, I apologize. But yeah, there's another guy on here, Les Cargo 38. I think he speaks French as well, and I do not know any French, sorry. But let's see. If we go back to our browser and we type in Ye Olde Inn, go to yeoldinn.com. I think you should be able to see this. Let me just make sure you're seeing what I see. Yeah, go to yeoldinn.com and you can pick your little flag at the top here. So it's the Netherlands. There's France. So click on the flag of France. and it'll show you all this stuff here. And some of this stuff is official, and some of it's just fan translated. Most of it's fan translated. You can go on the game system. I'm pretty sure the remake of HeroQuest is being released in a lot of countries now. And so slowly people are getting it in other languages besides English. So like the Italians are getting it, I think, the first week of June. But yeah, people have translated the quest books, the instructions, flyers, character sheets, cards into French. Now this is using like the European rules, so this may or may not be what you grew up playing if you played HeroQuest back in the day. But I think it's really cool they did this. So yeah, you've got French, Spanish, Japanese, German, all kinds of stuff. So even if you can't find it officially in your language, fans have created it for you, so you can just print and play, or just reference it. So I think that's pretty awesome. HeroQuest for everyone, worldwide. So anyway, let's see. No, an anonymous gifter is gifting a tier 1 sub to HeroQuest fans community. Oh, cool. Nice. Well, thank you to that anonymous donator. That's very generous of you. Yeah, I don't think I've yet paid for a subscription on Twitch. I mean, I've had people gift me subs, which is a cool thing to do. And, you know, if you, cool. Yeah, if you want to gift a sub to somebody, so you basically buy a month subscription and you give it away, that's a nice way to support the stream. That's a nice way to encourage people to come join us. That's awesome. If you want to pay for a subscription yourself, that's cool too. So yeah, it's just a way that we can kind of help each other out. It's more a way to support each other. Just, you know, say thank you. Okay. You mentioned on Discord that you recently picked up a copy of HeroQuest. Was it in retailer in France? Or did you have to order it? Oh. Sweet. So PMG, you bought it in French. Okay. Yeah, we had some threads over on Yielden. We were talking about like which countries have actually gotten HeroQuest and which ones have actually gotten it in their native language, because I know that a lot of people bought HeroQuest, the remake HeroQuest, and they just shipped it to other countries. So like maybe people in Japan would get it, but it would be the American version. It's like, okay, well they got it, but it wasn't like natively translated, and they couldn't just walk into a store and buy it. Yeah. My thought is all the countries that originally had HeroQuest back in the day in the 90s should get it. And then yeah, if they want to spread the love after that, that's cool. Just as showing gratitude to all the fans that supported the game all these years. All right, back to the book. So nice little exchange there. All right, so we're doing Fellowship of Four, Dave Morris, and let's go ahead and resolve to go to the Haunted Manse to find Perdita, the poor milkmaid who was kidnapped, according to the old man's story. Assuming he's trustworthy. If you've seen past streams, you know kind of what's going to happen, maybe. We'll do it, you cry. We'll go to the old manse this very night. Your announcement is greeted by the other villagers with a sort of enthusiasm they might give to someone who had just declared themselves to be carrying the Black Death. They stare at you slack-jawed, then hastily set down their mugs and set off home. As each of them passes your table to get his coat from the pegs by the door, he gives you a grave look and crosses himself before scurrying out. Just as you're heading out of the inn, you bump into a peddler who is parking his handcart outside. Okay, another choice. Stop to talk to him, option 1. Option 2, hurry past and head out to the moors. So PMG says the new version uses the North American rules, or the American rules. Yes, you are correct. Yeah, as far as I know, the remake, there's no variation in rules like there was with the old version of the game. In the old version, there was, you know, the UK version was released first, and then they revised it the following year. And pretty much everybody in Europe got that version of the game in their own language. And then that same year, so 1990, the American version was released, and pretty much everybody in North America got that version. I think in Brazil they might have gotten a slightly different version. But then in 1991, Japan got a version of the game, which was completely different. Like, it used the same assets, but a lot of the rules were different. The story was different. The quests were different. So it's kind of a unique version. But that one is pretty obscure. Like, unless you're going online on the forums, you probably didn't know about it. So I think it'd be cool if people would take the remake and, like, translate it, so to speak, with the rules to the versions people remember. But it's up to you what you want to do. I think it's fairly easy. I think the main thing you'd have to do is just reprint the cards with the new rules on them. So anyway, all right. So as far as the game goes here, choice-wise, what should we do? Should we talk to the peddler? Option 1. Hurry past and head out to the moors. Option 2. I feel like if I were to give a suggestion, option 1 is probably better because we need gear. I think the very first time we played this, we just rushed out right into the adventure and we realized we didn't have much gear at all. Because, I mean, yeah, we've got some silver coins, we've got some magic, we've got our weapons, but not a lot else. So Elvyler wisely chooses option 1. Anybody agree or disagree? Strange Bus. Okay, it's unanimous. We got 3 votes for option 1. Thanks, guys. I'm not trying to force you to play a certain way, but for the enjoyment of those watching. Okay, so we're going to stop and talk to him. He has just arrived at the inn, having dawdled somewhat and setting out this morning from the last village where he was staying. His route brought him over the moors, and he has spent the last few hours traveling in gathering darkness. He has a drawn, pale look about him, like someone who has seen a fearful sight, and is obviously keen to get himself a warm drink. The music is gone. It's gotten eerie. No, let's get that music up a little bit here. All right, so he's seen something. He has a drawn, pale look about him, like someone who has seen a fearful sight, and is obviously keen to get himself a warm drink. He's reluctant to waste time talking to you, so decide carefully what you'll say to him. Option 1, ask him what he saw out on the moors. Option 2, ask him the best route to the old manse. Option 3, ask him what he has for sale on his cart. Now, I think we definitely want to buy from him if we can. Will it give us an option to talk with him as well? So let me just remind everybody. So regarding the peddler, what do we choose? Oops. Okay, so once again, option 1, ask him what he saw on the moors. Okay. Option 2, find out the best route to the old manse. Option 3, ask him what he has for sale on his cart. Now, I know if Striker was here, he would say do all the side missions, but we definitely want to get to the old manse. Information would be nice, and also buying things would be nice. Sometimes it'll give you another choice, but it sounds like he's short on time, so the question is, what should we choose? 1, 2, or 3? Please vote now if you're on Twitch in the chat. 1 gold coin. Option 1, find out what he saw. Option 2, what's the best route? Option 3, what does he have for sale? Okay, so PMG voted for option 3, which is ask him what's for sale. Okay, anybody else? We'll put the timer up. Countdown timer for choices. I'll give you 30 seconds. Anybody else wants to vote? liking this royalty-free music. It sets the tone pretty well. So yeah, once again, we're reading Fellowship of Four, HeroQuest novel from Dave Morris, 1991. Strange Bus voted for option 1. So he wants to find out what was seen on the moors. Okay, so that's 2 votes. Anybody else have a vote? I feel like maybe Strange Bus is trying to sabotage the vote. No, I'm kidding. No, I think it's cool when we have a difference of opinion, because then we can try to hash it out and figure out what we really want to do. Plus, it's nice to know, there's different options. Where does each path take us in the book? Zargon in disguise, yeah. Well, that's the thing. When we've been playing HeroQuest, I've always been Zargon, because it's my stream, I've got the cameras, I've got the game. But anybody could really be Zargon. Now, it's easier if you have your own set. Chaos reigns. Yeah, we need that sound clip from that movie. That's a disturbing film. Alright. Anybody else? Let's give you a little bit more time. Any votes? Option 1, what did you see on the moor? Option 2, best route to the Old Manse. Option 3, what's for sale? I mean, I could be the tiebreaker. It's like my vote would be option 2. It's like, come on, that's not a tiebreaker. Actually, no, because I've got infinite gold. That wouldn't be fair. All right, we need another vote. Anybody? If we narrow it down, so option 1 or option 3? What's for sale or what's on the moors? Can you roll for the tiebreaker? I could. That's a good idea, Strange Bus. Break the stalemate with a roll. So, okay. It's a 50% chance on one combat die. So we'll say a skull is going to be... Oh, we got an ad going. Okay, we're back after the ad. Sorry about that. Okay. So Strange Bus's suggestion was we do a tiebreaker roll. Hey, we're figuring this out as we go. So a skull will be option 1. Any other result will be option 3. Okay? Alright. And it's a skull. So skull is option 1. And a whole bunch of people unsub. No, I'm kidding. Kidding. No, it can go a lot of different ways. Okay, so we're going to find out what he saw on the moors, assuming he's being truthful. So that's option 1. No, I like that way of solving it. Okay. A ghastly thing, he replies in a trembling voice. Oh, I didn't do it right. Trembling voice. A ghastly thing, he replies in a trembling voice. First I heard the notes of a hunting horn. But who would be out on the chase on Samhain Eve? It's not Samhain, it's Samhain. Chase on Samhain Eve, I thought, with not even a clear sky full of moonlight to light their way. Then I heard what I took for the baying of hounds, but an unearthly sound it was, like howls of wind heard in the chimney. And last I saw them, a horrible sight to make your blood run to ice. The hounds came in a pack, all headless, with their barks howling through the gory holes of their necks. The beaters were capering hellions with the hindquarters of goats and faces that could clot cream. And finally I saw the huntmaster on his horse, a great roaring, black-bearded villain he was. And though I never before laid eyes on him, I knew it was the likeness of Grim Dugald, dead in the grave these 30 years and more. So you throw your drink in his face, you slap him around a few times, you kind of shake him down until he calms down. How did you escape? You ask breathlessly. By the skin of my teeth, pushing my cart for all I was worth, I fled up hillock and down gully, careless of brambles and potholes in my path, and all the time I could hear the blaring of that horn and that horrible hot breath. Of the headless hounds on my neck, just as it seemed they must catch me, I waded through a shallow stream, and suddenly it was silent. I risked a look back, and there's nothing behind me but moonlight and shadow. Can't cross running water, you see, them demons and like. Now you excuse me if I discuss the matter with a bottle or two. He goes past you into the inn. You summon up your courage and get across the moors. Of course, for all we know, this guy could be just talking complete and utter, horse bucky, but we don't know. So let's turn to 12. Still, Grim Dugald. I quit. Not yet, not yet. It costs 6,000 gold coins to quit. No, I'm kidding. Okay. You make your way out across the moors. The moon shows as a white gleam behind heavy shutters of cloud. Looking ahead, you can see 3 possible routes. That music is pretty dramatic. Okay. Looking ahead, you see 3 possible routes. One is a stone lichway that passes by a number of ancient burial mounds. The second, used by carts heading to and from market, leads over the moors to the town of Ithyorn. It skirts a ruined castle, which many believe is haunted. Alternatively, you could take the path that winds through the misty hollows. So choice time again. Vote with your gold. Option 1, take the lichway. Option 2, the cart track. Option 3, plumb the path through the hollows. So once again, option 1, lichway. Option 2, cart track. Option 3, hollows. So the adventurer goes home, quits, and watches football. Yeah, I mean, it's like Zargon just rolls with it. Just whatever people say, It's like, flip the table. And so the adventurer flips the table. Okay, so Strange Bus voted for option 3. See, this is like when you're in school and you've got one of those multiple choice tests and you have no clue. So you're just like, B, C, D, whatever, just over and over. No, I'm kidding. I don't know everybody's thought process or if you read ahead and know what happens. But option 3 is Strange Bus's choice. So he wants to go through the hollows. Anybody else? Let's bring up our timer. Give people 30 seconds to a minute to make the decision. Anybody else vote? Just check Discord here. Alright. Goes against my gut. Well, sometimes your gut's wrong. That's just a fact. Okay, so once again, option 1, lichway. Option 2, cart track. Option 3, hollows. I mean, I'm thinking any which way we go, there's adventures to be had. So, I mean, the cart track goes by that potentially haunted castle. The Misty Hollows sounds like it could be hiding all kinds of things. The burial mounds in the lichway, that could be. Got option 3. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Thank you. Yeah, so we've got a vote for option 3 and another vote for option 3. So I guess that's it. Thank you, Strange Bus. All right, option 3 it is. So we're going through the hollows. Yeah, I like the little reward system where you can vote, but it doesn't necessarily, like, it'll just show how much gold you spent. It doesn't show a big icon of like what you chose. I kind of wish it would do that, make it a little easier for me to pick up on it. Okay, you've not gone much farther, or much further rather. There is a difference. Okay, what happened to our music here? All right, there we go. You've not gone much further before beginning to regret your choice. Uh-oh. The terrain is soggy underfoot, and even though you stick to the low dike of drier ground that seems to mark the path, your boots are soon waterlogged. Oh, I hate that. As if they were not bad enough, the mist thickens and swirls around you. Visibility drops until even your comrades around you appear like ghosts. You trudge on, the wet squelch of your tread muffled by the fog, until you catch sight of a campfire. Okay, so we've got decision time. Option 1, strike out in the direction of the fire. Option 2, ignore it and go past. So option 1, campfire. Option 2, go past. Now I know if I was really hiking, what I would choose. But this is a fantasy adventure game, so it could be anything, you know. So for those just joining us, we're reading Fellowship of Four, the first HeroQuest novel by Dave Morris from 1991. Let me just type something quick here. Got just a slight delay. Option 1, campfire. Option 2, continue on. Yeah, one of the cooler things when I do go hiking, waterproof socks. Man, those make a difference to your comfort level. I mean, there's nothing worse than, you know, you're hiking through, you know, some rough terrain and you've got cold, wet feet. So option 1 is the campfire. So we've got 1 vote, 2 votes. Oh, nice, guys. Thank you. Just throw up the timer here real quick. Anybody else wants to vote? Looks like the campfire is going to be our option if nobody else. Yeah, if only 3 people vote, obviously it's 2 out of 3. Anybody else? Okay, looks like option 1 it is. So we're going with the campfire. Strike out in the direction of the fire. All right, sorry folks, just had to check something there. Okay. As you get closer, emerging out of the mist, you see a wizened old Tro squatting beside a sputtering peat fire. He looks up and greets your approach with a brusque nod. Under the floppy brim of his hat, his eyes glitter darkly like droplets of tar. A while passes, then he gestures for you to sit down and share the warmth of his fire. The acrid smoke stings your eyes, and for a moment you have the wild fancy that this Tro's fire is the source of the thick mist. But of course, that is nonsense. You do not know much about Tros, since they are elusive beings. Folklore does suggest it is unwise to decline a Tro's hospitality. He makes no attempt to reconcile this with the equally strong belief. That one should have nothing whatsoever to do with them. Huh. I don't know what a Trow or a Tro is. So option 1, sit down by the fire. Option 2, turn his offer down. Okay, so we've approached the fire. Now the question is, this Trow or Tro, whatever he is, he invited us, but do we sit down or do we turn down the offer? So option 1, sit down. Option 2, decline. Trow or Tro. I wonder if that's anything like is it Drow? Like a dark elf? Like a subterranean elf? Of course, this is Dave Morris. He could be making up his own lore, pretty much. Some kind of humanoid form. Alright, so PMG is voting for 1 yes, and Chaos Reigns Strange Bus is voting for 2. Alright, we're trying to get more people to participate, break the tie, or we could roll to see who gets it. Okay, So we've got one vote for sitting down at the fire. We've got another vote for declining. So yeah, anybody who is on Twitch, use 1 gold coin to vote. Option 1 or option 2. See if people would join. Okay, thank you. We're voting on choices in Twitch for Fellowship of 4. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Well, if it's a 50% chance, I mean, I could just roll the die to do the tiebreaker. Okay, so if it's a skull, we're going with option 1. If it's anything else, we're going option 2. Roll the combat die. And it's a skull. So we're going to with option 1. So we're going to sit down by the fire. Okay, so turn to 80. Paragraph 80. Thanks, guys. This is fun. Okay. The fire gives out more smoke than warmth. You sit beside it, rubbing your hands against the evening chill and keeping a wary eye on the trough. I'm going to say tro. Okay. And keeping a wary eye on the tro. After a while, because the fire is burning low, the tro reaches out a hairy hand to his left and picks up a broken branch that you had not noticed lying there before. He tosses this on the fire. Crackling flames shoot up as the wood catches alight. This gives off more heat, but eventually the branch burns low. You are forced to huddle closer to the fire. The tro reaches out and touches you, sending a shock through your skin, as though you had suddenly found a large spider crawling on your leg. You look up, startled, but he only stares back with his coal-black eyes and slowly points a gnarled finger off to your left. There, a short distance from the fire, you can see another broken branch. The tro still says nothing, but he seems to want you to fetch the branch. Decision time. Just listening in the background for a bit. Thanks, Elviler. Welcome. Okay, so option 1, should you get the branch? Because the tro wants you to pick up the branch, apparently, and put it on the fire. So option 1, give him the branch. Option 2, stay right where you are. Please vote now. So yeah, we've got 3 active chatters who could vote. So yeah, you only need 1 gold coin to vote if you're live with us on Twitch. I'll just restart the timer here. I'll give people a minute here to vote. So option 1, give them the branch. Option 2, stay where you are. I have no idea. I've never gotten to this part before. Yeah, I didn't have these books back in the day. I bought them just a couple years ago. Got lucky, found a decent price online. Okay, so Strange Bus votes for option 2, stay right where you are. Are we going to offend this guy? We're going to have to fight him? Is it a test? He's just going to get it himself? Or is it a trick? You know, could be all kinds of things. I mean, looks can be deceiving, right? Okay, anybody else have a vote? I'll give you another minute. So Strange Bus says stay where you are. So option 1 is give him the branch. Option 2 is stay where you are. I'm liking this music. Okay, we got another vote for option 2. All right, I guess we're going to stay where we are unless Elviler is going to vote. Oh, but he's working, so he may not be able to actually vote. It's okay. You're just like slapping your forehead like, no, these guys, what are they doing? we can always read it again. All right. Okay, it looks like that is the deciding vote, so we're going to go ahead and just stay right where we are. And just keep in mind, there's 4 of us, and so we're sitting there by the fire, and you would think we could handle him if he tried anything. Of course, I assume he touched the group leader, so that would be the barbarian most likely. I mean, you know, who can't help admire his physique? He's a pretty buff guy. Gets that a lot, you know. The Tro gives a high howl of rage, the first and only sound you hear him utter, and leaps up, kicking red sparks up from the fire. You throw up your arms to avoid getting a hot cinder in your eyes. Smoke billows everywhere, congealing with the mist. As your coughing subsides, you discover that the Tro has vanished. You also notice now that the branch he wanted you to fetch actually lies on a patch of quagmire. If you had stepped over to get it, you would most likely have been sucked down to your doom. Shaken by the experience, you decide to hurry on your way. Ah, nice work, guys. So that was 3 votes for the correct one. It's a nice job, guys. See, I was thinking I probably would have given it to him. I wouldn't have thought. I just, you know, okay, you know, hospitality to strangers and all that kind of stuff. But you guys were right. So, go to 69. Nice work. At last you arrive at the deserted manse of the infamous Grim Dugald. It seems you've already had as harrowing a night as any you can remember, just in crossing the bleak moors. But your perils are far from over yet. You look at the darkened manse. From its high gables, gaping window sockets, and shroud of ivy, the feeling of foreboding makes you shudder to your core. Still, you will not make things any better by hanging around out here. May as well get things over with, if only you knew what the things in question were. Cautiously, you advance along the path until you reach the edge of a wide trench that surrounds the manse like a moat. There's no water in it, but the dim moonlight brims it with shadows. There's a kind of bridge spanning this moat. It is not like any bridge you ever saw before, however, since it is made up of thick square tiles of pale marble which hover magically in the air without supports. The tiles are about 2 paces on a side and are close enough for you to easily jump between them. You notice they are furry with gray mold that also hangs raggedly down towards the moat. Okay, decision time. Woohoo, indeed. Option 1, if you cross by means of the hovering tiles, that's option 1. Option 2, descend to the dry moat. So previous readers remember this part. But, yeah. Option 1, cross by means of these hovering tiles. So I guess we're going to have to jump from tile to tile. They are covered with mold, which could be slippery. Option 2, descend into the dry moat. Of course, we don't know what's in the moat. So what will we say? Just restart the timer here, and we're going to vote with your gold coins, your free gold coins. Strange Bus chooses option 2. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? So he wants to descend to the dry moat. Option 1 is the hovering tiles. Option 2, the dry moat. Now, I was thinking to myself, we don't have any gear, really, this time. We have information, but no gear. So is it going to be safer to go into the moat, or do we need some gear? I'm just thinking one of these choices requires gear, but they'll tell us. Elviler. Hey, we got our first use of an emote there. We got the Chaos Warlock. I was particularly proud of that little guy. Just going nuts. Okay, Elviler votes for option 2, go to the dry moat. PMG votes for 2. Well, everybody's voting for the dry moat. Okay, let's go for it. That's 3 votes for the dry moat. Hey, that rhymes. Poet didn't even know it. You clamber down the sides of the trench into the thick shadows. The bottom of the moat feels slimy underfoot, knotted with weeds. A toad croaks once, unseen in the gloom. Once? If the dwarf is still with the party, well, why wouldn't he be? Okay, if he's been lost on the way here. Alright. Dwarf, are you here? Aye, laddie. Okay. All right, let's go with that then. Maybe he's gonna spot a trap or secret passage for us. You spot a secret tunnel entrance in the wall of the trench. This feature is common in isolated manor houses, an insurance allowing the occupants to escape if the manor should be besieged in time of war. You make your way through the tunnel until it widens out into a flight of stone steps. These bring you up inside the manor, where you emerge via a concealed panel below the main staircase. Turn to 6. That was crafty. Yeah, thanks everybody for participating. Now, it'll be really tough if we get really popular and we have just huge crowds of people voting. We're going to have like a moderator tallying up the votes. We might have to use the poll option that we talked about earlier instead. But this works for now. This is fun. Okay, you step into the dilapidated entrance hall. Your first impression is of cobwebs and dust. The second impression is less favorable. Rats, startled by your arrival, emit frantic shrieks and go scuttling half-glimpsed into the darkness. You gaze up the long sweep of the stairs. Under the grime of ages, a succession of nefarious faces glower from portraits on the walls. Each looks more depraved than the one before, until finally your eyes come to rest on what must be the likeness of Grim Dugald himself. You cannot even begin to imagine what twisted desires and rank indulgences could have formed those gross features. The hot jowls, the obscene smile, and the stare brimming with cruel delight. If the devil wore a human face, that would be it. You tear your gaze away despite a horrified fascination. Off to one side, below the stairs, steps lead down to the cellar. At the back of the hall is an archway. On the lintel over this is displayed Dugald's coat of arms, a raised fist in scarlet, bearing a flail on an ebon field. Alright, decision time. Option 1, go up the stairs. Option 2, go through the archway. Option 3, descend to the cellar. Alright, so vote option 1, stairs, option 2, archway, option 3, cellar. Now, we've been this way before, but the question is, we're trying to save Perdita. We've got Grim Dugald to contend with. Are we going to face him? Are we going to avoid him? What's the best way to do that? So Strange Bus votes for option 3, descend to the cellar. Does anybody else have a vote? PMG votes for option 1, go to the stairs. Okay. So we've got a divided poll so far. So 1 vote for stairs, 1 vote for cellar. Anybody want the archway or agree with one of the other votes? So option 1, once again, stairs. Option 2, archway. Option 3, cellar. By the way, if any of you are seeing an ad, please let me know, just so I'm not talking to nobody while the ad is playing. Any other votes? Elviler, okay, so he voted for option 1. That looks like that's the tiebreaker. Let me just check it looks like we're going to go up the stairs. Let me just see who else is here. So shout out to everybody who's joining the chat, any who join us later or recently. We've got Zero Axe 2, Alien Gathering. I'm not sure if I've seen you before, but in any case, welcome to the stream here on HeroQuest Fans. Another TV viewer, Elviler, of course, lurks. PMG, of course. Saralna. Sorry. Six Flags Magic Mountain, perennial viewer. Thank you. Sound Alerts and WinSant24. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and supporting us. Consider becoming part of HeroQuest Fans here on Twitch and YouTube also. XSE3, home of HeroQuest Fans. And support each other, too. I mean, if you see somebody on here that you want to follow, you want to subscribe to, show them some love. Make the community bigger. It's great. Okay. So it looks like we're going with option 1, go up the stairs. 39. I'll put my finger there just in case it's a sudden death choice. Usually they divert it. It's like maybe 2 pages down and then you die. But we'll see. Brushing aside the heavy drapes of cobweb, You give Dugald's portrait a wry glance as you tread slowly past it up the stairs. Each step gives an ominous creak as you advance. However, it is soon obvious that the wood is quite rotten. Okay. Exploration of the upper floors would be too dangerous. You would most likely be killed by a collapsing floor if some unspeakable ghoul didn't jump out on you first. Gingerly retracing your steps, you again find your gaze drawn to the sinister portrait. If for any other reason you want to take it down from the wall and carry it with you, okay, that's option 1. So I guess you can take it, steal his painting. Interesting. Otherwise, if you've not already done so, you can now go through the arch at the back of the hall. That's option 2. Or investigate the cellars. Option 3. Interesting. Okay, so we've got 3 choices once again. Let me just throw up the timer. So 3 choices. Okay, so option 1, steal the portrait. Option 2, go through the arch at the back of the hall. Option 3, go to the cellars. Now, if this were Thief, the Dark Project, you probably would want to steal the painting. That's a cool PC game that Strange Bus has done on his channel. And I downloaded it because of him, because I remember that game from back in the day. And it wasn't working for years on the PC, and you know, kudos to Steam for bringing back old games. But anyway, this isn't Thief, so we don't know if it's going to be good or bad to take the portrait down. Or we could go through the arch, the back of the hall, option 2, or option 3, investigate the cellars. Okay, so we got our votes. So Strange Bus, PMG, and Elviler all voted for option 1. Wow. So everybody wants to take the... This isn't Thief. Wait, this isn't... Oh. Is that the same portrait that is over the fireplace in the board game? Ah! You know, I hadn't thought of that, Elviler. It could be if you wanted to. That's a good thought, though. Yeah, so in the HeroQuest board game, the fireplace, if you remember, has this picture of a king, and he's got this angry, weird grimace on his face. And it could be... You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Dave Morris was thinking when he was writing this. Oh, there's an ad. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to be choosing option 1, but let me just wait for the ad to be over. HeroQuest fans is taking an ad break. Stick around to support the stream. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, well, after that cheesy ad finished, I feel like it's going to be like Alfred Hitchcock in here. I'm just going to start making fun of the ads. But if you can't see them, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so it looks like we're going to take the portrait. That's what everybody voted for. All right, let's go for it. Blowing away the coating of dust, you hold the painting up and pause to reflect on what it would fetch at an auction. Hey, screams of disgust, most probably. If you really are bent on keeping this grotesque memento, remember to record it on somebody's character sheet. Assuming you have not already done so, you can now go over to the archway at the back of the hall, or else take a look down in the cellar. Okay, so we've got a new choice here. Option 1, go to the back of the hall on the archway. Option 2, go to the cellars. So I guess we have the portrait now for whatever we can do with it. So let's see, who should we give it to? I'll give it to the barbarian. How about that? He's a strong guy. He can carry all kinds of things. So we'll just put ugly portrait. Yeah, looks like I need to go back to school for handwriting. Yeah, it's just the way this particular system works. Okay. All right, so we've got a choice to make, everybody. Option number 1, go to the archway. Option 2, go down in the cellar. Please vote now. Okay, well, PMG, thank you for joining us. Good game. Please join us again, and definitely catch us on the video on demand or VOD, and you can see what happened in your absence. All right, so we've lost our tiebreaker. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining us. That's nice of you, and I hope you enjoy HeroQuest too, as well. If maybe stream it in French if you want. I know there's some French players out there that appreciate that. Okay, it's French speaking, I should say. I mean, there's French Canadians out there as well. Yeah, appreciate the support. Okay, we've got decision time. Option 1, archway at the back of the hall. Option 2, cellars. I'll give you some more time, because it doesn't have to be that quick of a choice. So 1 or 2. Once again, option 1 is archway, option 2 is cellars. Okay, so Strange Bus votes for option 2, cellar. Well, the cellar is the safest place, somebody told me. Elviler says option 2 as well. If anybody didn't get that, that was a reference to Night of the Living Dead. I don't know if the cellar is really the safest place, but watch the movie and see if you agree or disagree. Okay, well, it looks like option 2 it is. So we're going to the cellar. Down into the fruit cellar. Of course, we're thinking about selling that portrait, so cellar, you know, makes sense. Different kind of cellar. So 62. Rickety steps lead down to a cellar whose frosty, dust-filled air almost makes you choke. You advance between racks of wine bottles, whose labels date back over many years. You notice one vintage, reclining under a thick gathering of grime of over a century ago. But if you wish to take one of the bottles of wine, remember to record it on your character sheet. I don't see why not. I mean, we've got space. They limit your carrying capacity in this version, but you can do that. So let's go ahead and just record that now. You get to see my goofy handwriting. Let's see, who should we give it to? Yeah, we'll give it to the barbarian, might as well. You know better than to give it to the elf. I'm just kidding. Oh, you couldn't see that. Whoops. Alright, so there we go. There's our character sheet now. Barbarian needs a drink. Been away from the tavern too long. Yeah, well, we know that we did have some issues with his partying, shall we say. But just because you're a big guy, I mean, doesn't mean you necessarily can handle your liquor as well as you think you can, and then bounce back and have an adventure the next day. We'll celebrate too early. Elviler agreed. Alright. This reminds me of the old, roll to see if I'm getting drunk. Yeah, you are. Okay, but for purposes of the game, we're not going to assume anything. He's gonna save it for later. Okay. So we recorded it on the character sheet. You find a door at the back of the cellar. Beyond lies a sloping passage that seems to lead down into still deeper catacombs. The darkness returns your gaze, heavy with foreboding. But it is down there, no doubt, that you will face your destiny. Before entering the ominous passage, however, you glance back along the wine racks. You may never again get the chance to visit such a well-stocked cellar. Perhaps there is time to sample just a few goblets, of one of the rare vintages. All right, you're thinking about it. He partied hard, yeah. Strangest bus. Okay, so option 1, you tarry a while to see what the wine is like. So you're going to sample the wine. Option 2, You think you'd better not lose any time? Descend to the catacombs. Alright, I don't think we've done this before. We haven't seen what happens if you drink the wine. I mean, there's 4 of us, so are we all doing it? Or just a couple people? So, alright, vote option 1. So, yeah, Strange Bus voted for option 1, of course. Try the wine. Option 2 is move on and don't do it. Alright, I'm going to give people another 30-some seconds, and let's see. Yeah. The other thing I like about the timer is I can see the delay. So it looks like there's about a 15-second delay. Elvyler chose option 1. He wants to sample the wine. Okay. Test it out in the elf first. Well, every time I see your name, Elvyler, I always think of Elvin. I think of elf. But I don't know if I assumed you were an elf or not. But whatever. How the each of the adventurers celebrate, I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. Okay, so we got 2 votes for option 1. It looks like that carries the day. We're gonna try the wine. A few goblets seems more than just a quick taste, but we'll see. Get a buzz going. So drink responsibly out there. So we're going to 30. It surprises you that Grim Dugald, if he still exists, has not drained his cellar dry by now, since he has obviously not restocked it in 30 years. Perhaps he no longer drinks wine. You uncork a bottle of white wine, the red being rather too turbid for drinking at this temperature. It is pale yellow in color, like autumn sunlight, and has a rich frosty aroma. The taste fills the palate, heady fumes rising to whelm your senses in a swirl of pure pleasure. Sweet nectar. You refill your goblet eagerly. The dwarf and the barbarian are both well able to hold their drink. The same is not necessarily true of the elf and the wizard, however. And if these players are in the party, they will need to roll die to see how they're affected. There we go. Here's the roll to see if you're getting drunk thing. The number rolled is the amount by which they must reduce their speed owing to intoxication. Oh man. Remember that anyone whose speed reaches 0 must be left behind. Okay. If anyone is capable of proceeding, turn to 41. If all surviving members of the party are able to go on, turn. Okay. Alright, so we got a roll for the elf and the wizard. Well, you know, they're the magic types too, so they got the mind points to consider. So we got to roll 1 die for each of them and see. That's how much their speed is reduced. So it's going to be reduced at least by 1, but it could be reduced by 6. Let's take a quick look at our character sheets. This could be. So we might have to leave people behind if they're drunk. Of course, does that mean we lose? Because, I mean, they're still there. They could sober up, recover. Okay, so speed. The wizard only has speed of 3. Uh-oh. And then the elf has a speed of 4. Alright. Great friends. Yeah, just leave him behind. It's like, well, what are you gonna... I mean, throw him over your shoulder, carry him around, uncommon feat. Okay, so we're rolling for the wizard now. Alright, let me just get that character sheet out of the way. So he's got 3. Oops. Okay, rolling for the wizard. This is how much speed he loses. 5. Dang. Okay. Alright, so the wizard is, he passes out. Okay. Alright, rolling for the elf now. And 2. Okay, so he is down to 2 movement, but the wizard, man, without the wizard, it's going to be tough. Doubt the barbarian even noticed someone riding on his shoulders. Well, that's true. Okay, so Let's see here. All right. Yeah, it looks like okay. And then Elf just reduces speed by 2, so he's down to 2 speed. Man, one drink and the wizard hits the floor. Well, we don't know necessarily. Does it say he only had one drink? You uncork a bottle. Tastes good. Okay, refill it. Well, okay, so he had 2 goblets full. I'm not sure how much is in a goblet. Is that 6 to 8 ounces? But yeah, two drinks and he's out. So, I mean, the fact that the wizard in the board game can't carry heavy weapons or armor kind of makes you think he's kind of a slightly built guy, kind of small. So maybe so. Whereas you picture the barbarian as this big hulking, guy. All right, well, sorry. So we propped the wizard up in a corner. We'll just have to come back for him later, I guess. All surviving members of the party continue to 88. Well, that's a shame. All that magic. He doesn't have a sober up spell. He's too drunk to use it on himself. All right. That was very, very, very stupid. There you are, lying in the cellar of a haunted mansion on the most ghost-ridden night of the year, dead to the world. You're snoring happily. Oh, okay. When a hand shakes you awake, you open your eyes. There are lots of hands, leprous white, with long dirty talons. The scene swims into blurry focus. None of the hands are attached to bodies. The ghostly hands fly through the air and seize you. Filled as you are with wine, you can do nothing to fight them off. Give a sob of terror and flail uselessly for a few moments. And fingers clamp on your windpipe and everything goes black. So they choke you out. Wow. Perhaps you will be found the next morning on the cellar floor. A cautionary lesson for other would-be heroes. Wow. So that was a... Is that right? All surviving members of the party. So it doesn't even matter that we left the wizard there by himself. Like everybody else died. Huh. So presumably we all took a nap as well, and we all got killed. And I guess he must have gotten killed as well. They killed the wizard. Or the party. Well, it sounds like they killed the party. That's pretty nasty ending. So Dave Morris, he didn't mess around. Well, let's backtrack. Because that's a total party kill. You know what? I made a mistake. Yeah, it says if all surviving members of the party are unable to go on. So that's what would happen if we were all drunk. I'm sorry, folks. I guess I was drunk too. Okay, never mind. False alarm. Okay, well, that was a spoiler then. So that's what would have happened if we all got bad rolls. But at the minimum, the dwarf and the barbarian would have been able to continue on. Okay, so we only lost the wizard. We put the wizard in the corner. If anyone is capable of proceeding, yes, go to 41. That was my mistake. I have definitely not been indulging today. Okay. Sorry, guys. False alarm. It just killed you off. It's the Zargon in me. I can't help it. It's just like, yeah, everybody died. Oh, just kidding. They didn't. All right. So load the save game. You go down deep into the earth. Okay, so this is everybody but the wizard. So we went down deep into the earth, leaving the wizard behind. Finally, you emerge from the tunnel in a cave so vast that you cannot see the walls or roof at all. A torch glimmers in a bracket on the wall beside you. If there are any mortal players left, such as the barbarian, then you must take the torch, as otherwise you will be unable to see. You will have to retain it while in the catacombs, as long as the barbarian and the wizard survive. The elf and the dwarf have good enough night vision not to need torchlight. Okay. F5, yeah. So we're going to grab the torch. Now, the barbarian, if I remember correctly, is overladen. He's got everything already, so we can just have someone else hold the torch, even though the fact is that only the barbarian would actually need the torch. So the wizard is drunk and we left him behind. Let's give it to the elf. Okay, so the elf is going to have the torch, even though he doesn't need it. He'll just hold it off to the side so that the barbarian can see. There we go. Okay. All right. You will have to retain it while in the catacombs as long as the barbarian and wizard survive. The elf and the dwarf, good enough night vision not to need torchlight. Okay. Go to 53. All right. You reach the edge of a subterranean lake, but the water and their surroundings are so silent and black that you almost seem to be in a void. You see only the white stone quay underfoot, the gleam of torchlight on the still water, and a white lacquered rowboat tethered to a bollard on the quay. If anyone wants to drink some of the lake water, decide you will do so and turn to 65. Okay, so that's option 1. Someone wants to drink the lake water. Option 2, get into the boat and start rowing. So vote now. Option 1, drink the water. Option 2, start rowing. Vote now if you're in Twitch. Let's get our timer back up. We didn't have such great luck drinking the first time. But you never know, right? Strange Bus says, let's drink the water. I guess he must be thirsty after all that wine. So that's 1 vote. It says drink the water. Option 2. Option 2 is get in the boat and start rowing. Strange Bus, are you having second thoughts? Option 1 is drink the water. Option 2 is get in the boat. I'll give you guys a chance to vote. Yeah, if you want to change your vote, that's fine. Or if you want to stick with it. Either way. Only takes 1 gold coin in the chat to vote. You said it didn't end well. Oh, I was saying when we drank the wine, we lost the wizard. And if everybody had gotten drunk, they all would have been strangled by ghouls. Okay, so Elviler chose option 2, get in the boat, and Strange Bus changed his vote to 2, get in the boat. Okay. Anybody else want to make a vote? Looks like getting in the boat is the majority. Because PMG had to go, so unless somebody else wants to join the chat. I mean, if this is open to anybody. It doesn't have to be just our regulars, but it only takes 1 gold coin to vote, so everybody should have enough. Everybody that's in the chat now. Okay, let me just check Discord real quick. Elviler, okay. Voted for option 1. Search for traps. See, that would be a nice thing to do in this book, but how would we practically do it? But I get the sentiment, because you're thinking, okay, is there something wrong with the water? I think in this case, we're going to search for traps and go, I'm not sure if this water is safe. Let's just get in the boat. All right, going to 76. So we're leaving that wizard far behind. He's gonna, once he sobers up, if he is still alive, he's gonna have quite a ways to go to catch up. All right, the oars fall almost without sound into the opaque waters. You drift out from the quay, surrounded by an eerie hush. You've not been rowing for long when a landing stage comes in sight. This is also of white stone, like the quay you set out from. It is completely surrounded by water. In the middle, you can see a small shrine, like the shrines of pagan times, consisting of a marble dome supported by pillars carved into the shape of human figures. As a tasteless and gruesome embellishment, the figures are depicted bound in shackles, as though being stretched on a rack. You cannot see clearly into the shrine except to tell there's something large resting on this altar stone. I wonder what. So, voting time. If you dock at the landing stage, that's option 1. If you row past in search of the far shore of the lake, option 2. Okay, so our sound alerts are not working, so I guess I'm going to have to do it right now. Strange Bus chose option 1. So there's something large resting on the altar stone, and his name is John Cena. It might be John Cena, or it might not. I don't think his rise to fame occurred for some time after this book was written. But you never know. And his name is John Cena. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that. So sound alerts, sorry. We're going to have to figure out what's happening with that. If you used all your gold, I apologize. Is there any way for me to give you gold? I'm not sure. But yeah, there's going to be fun hijinks like that in the future, I can tell you. Okay, so option 1 is what Strange Bus voted for. So he wants to dock at the landing stage, investigate this place. Anybody vote for option 2 or option 1? Because we can land or we can go past to the far shore of the lake. All right, so far we've just got 1 vote for docking and exploring this strange area, the shrine. See if it really is John Cena on the altar stone. All right, I'm going to give you another 15 seconds here. Sorry, I realize the book is just like bobbing around on the camera, but I just want to show you that I really am reading it. Okay, well, it looks like we're going to dock at the landing stage. Do all the side quests, said Stryker when he was here. 99. Okay. Your hairs stand on end as you walk towards the shrine. You do not need a sixth sense to tell this is a place of great wickedness. Stepping between the pillars, you see a gray stone coffin lying on the altar stone. Unlike the rest of the shrine, the coffin is very crudely worked and deeply weathered, as if it had been exposed to the elements for years. Before you can move towards the coffin, there is a ghastly bubbling growl, and 4 figures shamble from behind the altar to attack you. They are women, chalk white of flesh and listless of gaze, whose dark hair and robes hang lankly, as though damp. This is giving me vibes of The Ring here. First undead bride, second undead bride, third undead bride, fourth undead bride. Okay, so this is our first combat. So each of them has a combat of 3 and a body of 1. So it doesn't look like anything we can't handle. Of course, there's 4 of them. There's enough room in the shrine for all players to get into melee. Okay, survivors turn to... Okay, we could try to flee. Of course, I don't know... how long does that wine last? We're still a little tipsy. We're a little slow. I don't know if fleeing is going to be a good option. Of course... Plus, when you're fleeing, they have a chance to hit you as you're leaving, like a free hit. So I'm thinking we should probably fight. Now, they kind of surprised us, so they're going to get the drop on us. Now, there's 3 of us. We've got the barbarian. He's at full strength. We've got the elf and the dwarf at full strength as far as their stats go. So let me just bring that back up so you can see what I'm talking about. I didn't go over the combat this time, but it's fairly simple. Now, magic-wise, the elf does have his spells. But the question is, are they going to be of any use here? Veil of Mist could be used to hide, but I mean, that would just hide one of us. Let me just check. Water of Healing would be good if any of us are damaged, but nobody's damaged yet. Sleep, I'm not sure if it works on undead creatures. Let me just double check on that. Just flipping back in the pages here. Spells. And I think everybody is going to be parrying, because everybody's got a weapon. Sleep can put a foe to sleep. It doesn't always work. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be of any use to us here. So, all right. So we've got 4 opponents, and they get to attack. They're just attacking us all in order. So let me just grab another bookmark here. All right. Actually, no, that's not going to work. Sorry, I'm just getting, it's too cumbersome. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to do the combat like this. It's harder when there's four characters like this. Okay, so we're going to use this as the monster die. We're going to use this as the hero die. So monster die. So the first undead bride is attacking the barbarian. So the barbarian has a combat of 5. Okay, so each of the undead brides, they're all the same. So they have a combat of 3. So they've got to roll a 3 or less to hit. Anything else to miss. And if they hit, okay, that's a body point of damage for the target. Unless they can roll a parry, which means they roll 1 or 2, and then they avoid damage. Okay, so first undead bride attacks the barbarian. That's a 2, so that's a hit. And where'd our music go? Let me get the music back. Get some dramatic battle music, perhaps. All right, we got battle music now. Okay, so that would be a hit, but the barbarian is going to parry 1 or 2, and he blocks it. He's got a lot of body points, though. 5. Okay, he takes a hit. Okay, so we've got... Oops. To the right screen here, sorry. Okay, so barbarian has taken 1 body point of damage. Alright, second undead bride is going to attack. And the wizard isn't with us. So this is going to be hitting the elf. So she attacks the elf. It's got a 3 or less. 4. Okay, she missed. Okay. Third undead bride is attacking the dwarf. 4. She missed. Oh, we got an ad. Alright, we got an ad playing here. Just when it was getting good. Okay, so we just had a quick ad break there. We're back. Fellowship of 4, Dave Morris, Hero Quest novel, and we're in combat. We got these undead brides. And the last undead bride is attacking the barbarian because it loops back around in the combat order. So the last undead bride is attacking the barbarian. It's got to roll 3 or less to hit. 5, missed. Okay, our turn now. So the barbarian is attacking the first undead bride, and he attacks, as it says, he attacks with 4. Or no, not 4. Whoops, I'm looking at the elf. Excuse me. The barbarian actually attacks with 5. So if he gets a 5 or less, that's a hit against the undead bride. So 5 or less. It's pretty good odds. Okay, so he hit. The monster has no way to parry, and so the monster's killed. So we just killed the first undead bride. Alright, so that's 1 eliminated. Now, the elf. And the elf has... I believe I already said it. Combat of 4. So elf is attacking the second undead bride. It's got to get a 4 or less. Hit. That's the second one. Now, if the sounds were working, I could be playing the grunting sounds of the undead getting killed. So that's the second one down. Dwarf is going to attack now. And he has combat of 4. So 4 or less for the third Undead Bride attacking against. Alright, that's the third Undead Bride destroyed. Alright, so the hero's turn is over. We only got one left. So the fourth Undead Bride is going to attack the Barbarian. I guess with her... just her bare hands and teeth. Okay. 1. Okay, that would be a hit. Now he gets a chance to parry, because I said everyone's parrying at all times. So he's got to get a 1 or 2. He got a 3. Okay, so he takes another hit of damage. But it's the Barbarian, he can do it. So he is down to 6. Okay, hero's turn. So the Barbarian is attacking the first Undead Bride. He's got to get 5 or less. 6, he missed. Wow. Okay. Elf. He's got to roll 4 or less. Attacking the only remaining monster that's left. That's a hit. Alright, we've eliminated the enemy. So 4 of these Undead Brides. So he had 4 zombie brides. I mean, we assume these are connected to Grim Dugald. So it kind of gives you a hint of what's been going on. Survivors of the battle turned to 42. Okay. So we made it out alive. The Barbarian took some damage, but he's a tough guy. It's hard to kill. Alright. Even as you approach the coffin, you smell the slaughterhouse stench rising from it. It is filled with blood. You can only pray it is not human blood. What vile monster would keep such a grisly thing here? With a shudder, you at last begin to guess the truth. On the altar at the base of the coffin is a large bronze key. You decide that it is certainly worth taking, recorded on someone's character sheet, even if something else must be discarded in order to carry it. If you have a vial of holy water and want to use it now, well, we don't. You set out on the boat again. Yeah, we didn't find any holy water. So that makes me think that there's holy water somewhere. Alright, so we got the bronze key. Let's just see whoever can carry it. And that wizard better sober up. Okay, well, we've only got one slot left to carry anything, so let's give it to the dwarf. We got the bronze key. Alright, the adventure continues. Alright, I think I can put away the character sheets for the moment. So Strange Bus said, "Aw." Yeah, to the John Cena thing. Well, hey, we survived a battle at least. So now we're going to 111. Okay, 111. Sorry guys, just checking something here. Alright, 111. Eventually you reach the far side of the lake. Unlike the cay you set out from, this is not a man-made landing place, but a shore of white pebbles. Dragging the boat up on the beach so that it will not drift off, you commence a search of the area. Quite soon you find a locked door in the back wall of the cave. It is of stout, bronze-bound oak. Pressing your ear to the door, you can just make out a sound like muffled sobs. If you have the bronze key and wish to use it, option 1. If not, option 2. Well, this seems like an opportunity we don't want to miss. We've got the bronze key, we've got the bronze lock. Hear the muffled sobs. We're trying to save Perdita. It seems like a sure thing. Anybody disagree? We've got some contrarians out there that don't want to do it. But nevertheless, I'm going to put up and allow people to vote. If you want us to use the bronze key, option 1. If not, option 2. Just give you 30 seconds. Need to get some fancier bookmarks. I'm enjoying this royalty-free music. Alright, looks like there's no objections, so I guess we're just going to let the GM decide in this case. Which is fine by me. Go ahead and use the bronze key. Alright, we're using the bronze key. Alright, so we'll go into 77. What? Oh, okay, we use the bronze key. A host of large white bats drop down out of the darkness. They will fight to the death to prevent you opening the door. Proof, if proof you need it, that something of priceless importance lies beyond it. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth bat. Now these bats, this is like in so many video games where they throw these small enemies at you that are really annoying. They only have a combat of 2 and only have body of 1, so they're even weaker than those zombies. There's enough room for every player to get into the fight. There's no point in fleeing, they would just pursue your boat. Survivors go to 100. Okay, so we got to keep track of 5 monsters now. Looks like they got the drop on us, so let's bring our character sheet back up. A lot of combat this time compared to no combat last time. Thanks, Elviler. Sorry, I didn't see your option there, but you voted for let GM decide for earlier, so thank you. Yeah, there's a 15-second delay. I should let you guys have a little bit more time. Thanks for rolling with it, though. Okay. So, just gonna write a little note to myself here, just to make it a little easier. So we've got, let's see, we got 1 bat. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like Blue's Clues or something. And then we'll put the 5th one here. Just to kind of keep track. They kind of look like the little ghost from Pac-Man, sorry. Okay, so the first one is going to attack the Barbarian. Now it only attacks with 2, which is incredibly weak. So it's got to roll a 1 or a 2 to even hit him. Just a minor annoyance. Okay, so rolled a 3, so the first one missed, the Barbarian. The second bat is attacking the elf. Got a 2. Okay, that's a hit, and they're all deflecting. So the elf is going to try to parry. 1 or 2 to parry. 2, parried. Okay, no damage. The third bat is attacking the dwarf. Third attacking the dwarf. 1, that's a hit, unless he deflects. Dwarf is deflecting. He deflected it. Okay, great. Okay, so the 4th bat is attacking the Barbarian because it loops back. 4th bat attacks the Barbarian. 5, missed. 5th bat attacks the elf. Missed. Okay, well, that was pretty uneventful. Alright, hero's turn. Alright, Barbarian is attacking the first bat. He's got to score 5 or less. 3, that's a hit. Killed the first one. Alright, so that's 1 dead. Just these little annoyance enemies. So, splat goes the bat. Now, if PSK was here, he would be doing all kinds of elaborate fatalities for each of these, but we don't have to do all that. When he's here, he can have the enjoyment. Okay, so we've got the elf attacking the second bat. He's got to get 4 or less. Yep, combat of 4. Alright, so he killed the second bat. Alright, dwarf attacks the third bat. 6. Okay, he missed. Ah, darn. Okay. Alright, it's time for the bats. So the third bat is attacking the barbarian. 2, that would be a hit. Let's see if he parries. 1 or 2 to parry? 4. Oh, he failed to parry. So the barbarian is now down to 5 body points. Okay, so the fourth bat is attacking the elf. Fourth bat attacking the elf. 2, that's a hit unless he can deflect. Elf tries to parry. 6. Ah, the elf took a hit. So his first damage quest. So he started with 6, so he's down to 5. And now the final bat, the fifth bat, is attacking the dwarf. Okay. Alright, fifth bat attacks the dwarf. 1 or 2, he missed. Okay, no problem. Hero's turn. Alright, the barbarian is getting sick of all this. Takes a mighty swing. 6. Well, he has 5, so he missed. He swung too hard. I guess still feeling the effects of that wine. Darn. Alright, the elf. Roll 4 or less to hit the second, or the fourth bat. 6. He missed as well. Oh. Okay, the dwarf is going to try for the fifth bat. 5. Well, let's see. Combat is 4. Everybody missed that time. Okay, back to the bats. Not the most exciting combat ever, but it's certainly suspenseful. Okay, so the third bat is attacking the barbarian. 2. Wow, they're getting good rolls. Okay, parry. 1 or 2, barbarian. 4. He takes another hit. Man, this would really be embarrassing if he got killed by a stupid bat. Alright, so he's down to 4. Alright, the fourth bat attacks the elf. 4, missed. Okay, the fifth bat attacks the dwarf. It's a hit, unless he can parry. He's going to parry. 2, he blocked it. Okay. Alright, now we're back to the heroes. Barbarian attacks the third bat. Oops. 6, he missed. Okay. Elf attacks the fourth bat. 5, he missed. Dwarf attacks the fifth bat. 1, finally a hit. Okay. So, killed another one of the annoying creatures. Alright, monster's turn. Okay, third bat attacks the barbarian. 1, okay. It's a hit unless he can parry. 1, he parried it. Phew, good job. Okay. Fourth bat attacks the elf. 2, man. Parry elf. 3, failed to parry, so the elf takes another hit. Okay, so the elf is down to 4. Yeah, see, this should have been an easy combat, but these guys have just gotten terrible rolls. But that happens sometimes. Can't fix the dice. Not at my table. Okay, not on my watch. Alright, so we're back to the hero's turn. We're down to 2 monsters. So Barbarian is getting sick of this. He's attacking the third bat. 5. Well, that's a hit. Kills it. It's a home run with that bat. Alright. Elf attacking the final monster, the fourth bat. 5, missed. Dwarf attacks it. 1. Kills it. Finally. Alright, so those bats are finally slain, and we took a lot of damage in that fight. Couldn't believe it. Alright, back to the book. Now we do have some healing. We have Water of Healing, which could restore up to 4 lost body points. We could use that to restore the barbarian to full. The elf has only lost 2. So I'm thinking probably when we do use magic, which we'll have to decide at some point, we probably should use it on the barbarian, is my suggestion. But we could do that before the next combat, I suppose. Alright. Survived another battle. Okay, so we killed all the bats. Survivors of the fight turned to 100. Okay. You unlock the door. It opens with a gravid creak to reveal a young girl cowering inside a small bare cell. My name is Perdita, and I'm from the village a few miles across the moor, she tells you. How do you come to be here, you ask. I'm not sure. On my way home, I was overtaken by dusk. Since this is Samhain Eve, I quickened my step. But just then I saw a tall figure of a shadow lurking among the trees by the side of the road. I crossed over and hurried by on the other side, but I hadn't gone far before I saw the figure again, somehow ahead of me still. I began to feel very frightened and I lost sight of the figure as I backed away down the road. Then suddenly, I bumped into something rather large behind me and I was seized. That's the last I remember. You realize there's no place to hang around. This is no place to hang around. You take Perdita to the boat and row back across the lake. Ascending through the cellar, you emerge into the entrance hall of the manse once more. If you're going to breathe a sigh of relief, however, then it was premature. Someone is here waiting for you. Okay, I'm wondering about the darn wizard, because we left him here. I think we should just see if we can sober up that wizard. I mean, it's been a while, right? But I feel like we need him. So I'm going to go ahead and do a roll here. If it's a skull, we can retrieve the wizard. This is our uncommon feat. If it's something else, he's still drunk out there. All right. Skull, we get the wizard back. Oh, darn it. Okay, well, I guess he's still drunk out there somewhere. Unless the book gives us a chance. Okay. Grim Dugald stands in the gloom of the hall. He has been waiting for you. His flesh is the color of candlelight. The other-world energies have swollen his already huge frame until his head almost scrapes the rafters. His eyes, two icy pebbles in the mistletoe bush of his beard and hair, roll horribly. And as he sees you, his growl of hate is like the howl of a hanged man. Do you have an item you want to use? If so, go to 112. Otherwise, 123. Well, we have several items. So we've got the ugly portrait. We've got some wine. Let's see, what else do we have? We've got a torch. We've got the bronze key. Well, we used the bronze key. It may have been left behind. We've got some silver. So, why not? Let's try to use an item and see if it comes up. Usually they give us a list and let us choose from the list. Let's go to 112. We really need the wizard though. Okay. Okay, which of the following will you try? A phial of holy water and a bottle of wine? Well, we don't have the holy water, so that's not an option. Vial of holy water on its own, once more we can't do it. Sprig of garlic, we don't have it. If you have none of these, you don't think they have been any use, turn to 123. Oh man. Let's try again to wake up the wizard. I mean, I figure every paragraph we can try again. Let's try to... Okay, if it's a skull, he's sober and he's with us. If not, he remains where he is. Skull, yes! Okay, I did that for you guys and for the wizard. So we've got the wizard back. He's just a little bit buzzed still, maybe a little bit hungover, but he's going to be functional. So we're going to just say he's back. All right, so we got our wizard back, but nevertheless, we've got to face the consequences. Okay. Okay, so we don't have any of those items that they listed, so we got to go to 123. Do you have the code word Carfax written on your character sheets? No. Unfortunately, we do not. Should have gotten the Carfax. Not a sponsored thing. That was just in the book here. So we got to go to 55. I was sure that one of those items would be useful. Grim Dugald was a monster even when he was alive, but the weaknesses of the flesh have been stripped away, and he is now nothing but the quintessence of evil. Looking into his ghastly corpse-lit eyes, you know that you can never expect quarter from such a foe. This is a fight to the finish. Grim Dugald, combat 6. So he's basically guaranteed to hit. Body 18. There's enough room for up to 3 players to fight him at one time. A 4th player could, of course, cast spells at him, if any. See, there's the wizard's roll. He's staggered back into the fray, sobered himself up as best he can. If you have acquired the sword Wraithweaver, well, that would have been nice. Wraithweaver. It inflicts double damage. See, we never found that sword. That is 2 points per blow rather than 1. If you flee out of the manse, you succeed in overcoming him. Okay, well, this is the guy that we came for. I mean, we rescued Perdita, but if he kills us, I'm sure he'll just recapture her, and who knows, maybe turn her into one of those undead brides. So we have a choice to make. I'm thinking first we should probably use magic to heal up the barbarian, get him back to full strength. What do you guys think? Should we flee or should we fight? Option 1, vote now. Option 1, fight the head bad guy Grim Dugald. Option 2, flee. Everybody vote. I know what I would choose. Meanwhile, while you're deciding, okay, let's bring up the countdown timer. Decision time. Fight or flee? Option 1, fight. Option 2, flee. Alright, so I'm going to have the elf. Well, we've got the wizard too. Let's have the elf use Water of Healing first. Before we enter combat. Cross that one off. And we'll use it on the barbarian. So he'll have his full strength. He'll be restored to 8 body points. What is with my pen? Whoops. Well, all right, that's 8. Can you guys still hear me? Hopefully. Option 1, fight. Option 2, flee. I'm pretty sure this is the final battle. So I'm thinking fight. So if nobody has a decision, I'm just going to go ahead and say we're going to fight him. I mean, we'll need to pull out all the stops. Thankfully, we've got the wizard back. Because if we didn't, it would be pretty tough, I think. He's got 18 body points. Alright, please vote now. I'll give you guys a minute to decide. Let me just check the stream here. We've got some new people. Welcome. So welcome to all of our previous folks joining us here on HeroQuest Fans and on Twitch, live on Twitch. On the replay, it's not live on YouTube. Welcome to Danking Around. Not sure if I've seen you before, but either way, welcome. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Oh, excuse me, 10 people. Oh, we've got Water. That's spelled W43RT3R. Welcome. So yeah, to the newcomers, In the chat there on Twitch, you'll have something called gold coins. Those are your channel points. Those are free. Below where it says send a message, you'll see a little purple and gold kind of symbol of a treasure chest open with gold coins. And you should see a number next to it, so you'll have gold coins. You can click on that, and you can use 1 gold coin to vote for option 1 or option 2. Option 1 will be to fight this Grim Dugald figure, who is the bad guy we've been pursuing this whole time. And option 2 would be to flee out of the manse, to run away. Now we've got, of course, our barbarian, we've got our elf and dwarf ready to fight. We only had to use up the healing spell to restore the barbarian to full strength. We've got the wizard over on the side. He's got all of his magic that he can use, all of his alchemical skills to fight the bad guy. So if nobody decides, I'm just going to go ahead and say we're going to fight him. This is going to be an epic battle, so bear with me. And if everybody gets killed, then I was wrong. So let me just check the Discord here one more time. So yeah, I'm having a good time, but this could be the end if we fail to win. Now I will allow it if we're life or death and somebody's about to get killed. If you want to use gold to buy a potion to save a hero, we can use that. You'll need I guess 500 gold to do that. But anyway, it's up to you if you want to do it. So I realize it's probably getting towards closer to dinner time for some of you. So if you just want to have us on in the background and lurk, that's fine. You're going to be building up channel points. More gold to use later if you want. Our sound clips are not quite working yet. I got to work on that. So if you want to scream about John Cena, that's your prerogative. I'll just have to do it myself manually. All right. So I'll give you 5 more seconds to decide. And then if nobody votes, I'm just going to say fight him. Oh, and of course we get an ad right now. Sorry. Let's just wait till the ad is over, and we'll go ahead and do our final combat. Just go old school here. Grim Dugald. Alright, we're back after the ad break. So we got Grim Dugald here. He's got 18 body points. So he's been waiting for us, but I think we can get the drop on him. So the elf already did the magic before we agreed to fight. So we're gonna fight. All right, I'm gonna vote myself just so that you can see, if you're joining us later, that that I decided to just make the decision. Okay, so we're gonna attack him. And since the wizard gets to use his magic off to the side, I think we're gonna just start chucking spells at him. So I think the first thing we're gonna do is probably one of the fire spells. Let me just look. Is the Fire Nation attacked? So Ball of Flame, they have a chance to avoid damage. Fire of Wrath does 2 body points of damage, and they have no chance to defend. So let's use Fire of Wrath. First of all, Fire of Wrath. Okay, so here we are. Fire of Wrath. Whoops. Alright. So Grim Dugald just takes 2 hits of damage. Boom! Blasted him with flames. He's down to 16. Okay, so that's the wizard's turn there. Okay, we've got the barbarian. So the barbarian has got to roll 5 or less to attack. And Grim Dugald doesn't get to parry because he's a monster. That's just the rule for monsters. 4. Okay, so that's a hit. Grim Dugald down to 15. Just took a chunk out of him. Of course, he's huge. He's this giant guy. This giant undead, ghoulish monstrosity. All right, now the elf has to roll 4 or less to hit. He's attacking. 1, that's another hit. So he's down to 14. And then last but not least, the dwarf, also 4 or less to attack. 1, that's another hit. So Grim Dugald down to 13. Doing well so far. Okay, so, but now it is his turn. So he's going to attack the barbarian, and of course, he has a combat of 6. So it's kind of like why rolling the dice is just kind of a formality, because he's guaranteed to hit. So it's a hit on the barbarian unless the barbarian can parry, which of course he's going to do. They're all going to try to parry. I don't think he gets to attack the wizard because the wizard's not in the combat. Now if everybody gets killed, the wizard's going to enter the combat or flee. It's the only choice. 6. Okay, the barbarian takes a hit, fortunately. So he is down to 7. And I believe heal body can be used in combat, so the wizard could use healing at some point if somebody needs it. Alright, so we're back to the hero's turn. Barbarian. Oh, first the wizard. Okay, well, of course he's going to try something else. So let's see. We've got Ball of Flame. Ball of Flame only does 1 body point of damage, and the enemy has a chance to avoid it by rolling a 1 or 2. But let's just see what Genie does. I think maybe we should save Genie because that allows you to heal somebody with 1 point, or does 1 body point of damage, or lets you see what one of the choices are, or lets you open a door. Yeah, so the Genie is pretty useful. What if we need the Genie later? So let's go with Ball of Flame. So Ball of Flame is going to do 1 hit of damage unless Grim Dugald can roll a 1 or 2. He rolled a 6, so he had no defense. So he gets blasted with flames again. He's down to 12. He's enveloped in a ball of fire. So he's got 12 body points left. Tough guy. Alright, so Barbarian attacks next. He's got to get 5 or less. 5. Okay, that's a hit. Grim Dugald's down to 11. Elf. Whoops, 4 or less. That wasn't a roll. 4 or less. 6, he missed, unfortunately. Dwarf attacks. 2, that's another hit. So Grim Dugald is down to 10. He's getting closer to our level. Alright. Okay, so Grim Dugald's turn. Of course he's going to get a hit. Doesn't matter what he rolls. 6, because there's only 6 options. So he attacks the Barbarian. That's a hit unless the Barbarian can parry, which of course he's going to try to do. Roll a 1 or 2. He failed. So he loses a body point of damage. He's down to 6. I know, not as exciting as the board game, but still, it gets the job done. Okay, hero's turn. Wizard. Okay, what should he do? Ah, Tempest. Does he have Tempest? Yes, he does. Oh, I forgot to cross off the spell. Okay. So we're looking at the wizard's mini spells here. So he's used up Ball of Flame. Cross that off. Let's have him use Tempest. So that causes the enemy to lose a turn. So he uses that first off. Okay. Barbarian. Barbarian attacks. Attacking Grim Dugald, the big bad guy. 6. He failed. Okay, he missed. Alright, Elf attacks. 4 or less. That's a hit. Grim Dugald is reduced to 9. Dwarf. 4 or less. 2. That's another hit. Down to 8. So now he's as strong as the Barbarian was. Grim Dugald's turn, but because of the Tempest, it's swirling him around. It's throwing him all over the room. He can't take any action. Alright, back to the heroes. So now the wizard. Let's see. Yeah, I guess rock skin I would have had to use it at the beginning of the battle. That would have the it would cut the it would have the injuries. Can't even say it. The genie, I think, is the only other attack spell that he's got. Let me just check real quick here. Sleep. I don't think sleep can work on him because he's undead. Yeah, I don't think sleep is going to work. Veil of Mist. Has to be used at the start of a fight. See, I should have checked. Yeah, next time use Veil of Mist before the battle begins. And Rock Skin. But you can only use one spell at a time. Okay, well, I don't know. Does anybody think we should use Genie? Otherwise, I could hold on to it. I'm just thinking we might need it later. I mean, if it's an emergency, we'll use it. Okay, so the wizard is just, this time he's not going to do anything. Okay, so the barbarian attacks. 5 or less, he gets a 2, that's a hit. Okay, we've got him down to 7. Alright. Elf attacks, 4 or less. That's a 4, that's a hit. He's down to 6. Grim de Gald is getting whittled down to size. And then the dwarf attacks. 3. You only had to get a 4 or less, so he's got Grim de Gald down to 5. So we're winning, guys. We're beating him. Alright, unfortunately now it is his turn. So of course he rolls, and whatever he gets, it doesn't matter. Because he's attacking the barbarian, it's a hit unless the barbarian can defend. He gets to roll 1 or 2. Got a 1, he parried successfully. Ka-ching! Alright, back to the wizard. I don't know. I mean, I think we're winning, so I'm kind of like, it's not that necessary for him to do anything crazy. So I'm just going to hold off. The barbarian is going to go ahead and hit. I think we got him right where we want him. So the barbarian attacks. 6, he missed. Whoops. Okay. Elf attacks. That's a hit. So we got him down to 4. Dwarf attacks. He's got to get 4 or less once again. That's a 4. That's a hit. So we got Grim de Gald down to 3. Now he's like an ordinary monster. Okay, it's the wizard, it's Grim de Gald's turn. So it doesn't matter what he gets. It's a hit unless the barbarian, getting ahead of myself, unless the barbarian can parry. Let's see if he can parry. This is the tedious part. He failed to parry, so the barbarian is down to 5. Running out of room here because I was writing big letters, big numbers, big numerals. Okay, so back to the wizard. I think at this point we've got it. If anybody objects, otherwise I'm just going to keep going the way we've been doing. So the wizard's going to not do anything right now. I mean, if need be, he can heal somebody. He can heal the barbarian with heal body. But I think at the moment, he's fine. If he gets down to 4, he'll probably heal him. So the wizard does nothing. Barbarian attacks. You get a 5, that's a hit. So Grim de Gald's down to 2. We got him. We got this in the bag. Alright, famous last words, right? Okay, elf attacks. 1, that's a hit. Got him down to 1. This could be it. The dwarf may do the coup de grace. Coup de grace. That's actually how you say it. Okay. Dwarf attacks. 4 or less. That's a hit. We got him, guys. We killed him. Ugh. Cut that giant down to size. Grim de Gald. Your history. Alright. If you succeed in overcoming Grim de Gald, surviving characters turn to 78. Well, everybody survived. Let's go to 78 and see what happened. I'm just curious. Let me just look at one of these magic spells here real quick. I'm just sort of thinking in my head what's going to happen here. Also, Swift Wind lets you flee without taking injury. Now, I presume that's only for one character, though, not for the entire party. All right. Grim Dugald falls. The floorboards shake with the impact, which sends clouds of dust into the air. But is he truly beaten? Can you kill one who has already tasted death? Before your eyes, the strong white fingers twitch, and a growl of returning strength rises from his black maw. Quickly, before he reanimates, you must do something. The desperate struggle has left you too weary to fight on. But what alternative is there? If you open the door and race off into the night, that's option 1. If you think you have an item that might dispatch him for good, turn to 124, that's option 2. But what item would we have? I mean, before they didn't even let us choose from that list. Now here's where it could get interesting, because the genie would actually let us look ahead and see what the options are. I'm thinking we could use the genie to try to see what the options are before we fail with an item. And then if not, we need to run. Does anybody have any opinions? So option 1 would be to race off into the night. Option 2 would be to see if we have an option to dispatch him for good. I'm not sure if the portrait of his ugly face, or the wine bottle, or the silver is going to be the thing. Now we do have a torch. Could we burn his body maybe? I don't know. But I mean, it wasn't in the other list. So option 1, run. Option 2, try to use an item. Or we could use the genie to look ahead and see what the items are. So does anybody have a choice? Please vote now. We'll just put up the... Yeah, so we'll say 3 choices. So option 1 would be run. Option 2, try to use an item. Option 3, use genie to look ahead and see what the items are. So 1, 2, or 3, please. Anyone? I haven't heard any responses in the chat for a while. I'm thinking maybe people got busy. That's okay. I can always just decide. I know what I want to do. What I personally would do is I'm going to use the genie to look ahead, see what the items are, and I have a feeling that none of the items we have are going to do anything, and so we'll have no choice but to flee. I mean, we beat him once, but can we do it again? That's the question. Alright, just waiting to see if anybody's going to vote. Option 1, run from Grim Dugald, because he's coming back. You know, we just killed him, and he's waking up. He's reanimating. So apparently he doesn't die that easily. Option 2, we try to use an item from one of our items that we've got. So we've got an ugly portrait of Grim Dugald himself. We've got a bottle of wine from his cellar. We've got a torch, which presumably is still burning. We've got a money pouch with 19 silver pieces. The bronze key, I don't even know if we can still use that, but it's still there, potentially. Doesn't give us the option to use magic on him. Otherwise you'd think maybe like a sleep spell or veil of mist, like he couldn't follow us. But alright, just a few more seconds and I'm gonna go ahead and just make an executive decision here. Let the GM decide. Alright, let's see. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna just let the GM decide here. Okay, I'm gonna use the genie to look ahead. So it's like the cheating spell. Now it's only good for one use, just like all the other things. So I'm going to use the genie to look ahead to 124 and see what the options are before we actually make a decision. So 124. Okay, and it says, which item will you use? Do not take too long. Making up your mind is already Grim Dugald is returning to life, or rather to undeath. Silver Dagger, don't have it. Sword of Wraith Reaver, don't have it. Oak Staff, don't have it. Vial of Holy Water, don't have it. Okay, well, in that case, I guess we're going to flee. So we're going to 67. We're going to run like the wind. And we could use Swift Wind on the wizard just because he still feeling the ill effects of that wine. Back to a normal speed. But, alright, 67. And I think this is going to be the last one. So if we win or we lose, we're going to call it quits because we're just an hour past our time. But thank you for everyone joining us here on HeroQuest Fans. It's a lot of fun doing these live readings of these game books for HeroQuest. Gasping for breath, you chase in blind panic across the moors. Cold moonlight paints a maelstrom of wild fells, sucking hollows, and stunted trees, all of which hurtle past in a blur. Then as you stagger up the side of the hillock, the distant blare of a hunting horn echoes out of the distance behind you, and you hear the horrible baying of phantom hounds at your heels. If the peddler told you how he got away from Dugald's hunt, turn to 90. Ah. So he did tell us the story. So we got that info. So this... Let's see if his advice was complete nonsense or if it will be helpful to us. So we're going to 90. You pause for breath. The cold night air feels raw in your lungs. The sweat plasters your hair over your eyes. Through the throb of your own terrified heartbeats, you hear the gushing of water. Looking around, you see a brook, no more than a faint trickle on the bottom of a weed-strewn ditch, but perhaps it will be enough. You mutter a silent prayer. The hunting horn sounds again. It is much closer now, but you do not dare look back. You start towards the brook. Your legs feel almost too weak to carry you, either because of exhaustion or mere terror, but somehow you stumble to the ditch and manage to jump across. The eldritch baying builds to a crescendo, breaks around you like a wave, and then it is gone. All is silence. You look back. The moors are deserted. Sinking back on the turf with a sigh of heartfelt relief, you rest until your limbs stop shaking, and set out for the village. Turn to 113. Okay, well, we're alive. Seems like we escaped. All right, 113. Did you rescue the milkmaid Perdita from Grim Dugald's clutches? Yep, we absolutely did. She is alive. Hope she survived all that. So what was she doing this whole time? Was she just in hiding? We definitely rescued her, though. Maybe we sent her home while we were. You march back into the village in triumph. The sun rises, casting a warm gold light that sparkles on the dew and does much to dispel memories of the appalling experiences of last night. The villagers unbolt their doors and emerge into the day. On catching sight of you, they raise a cheer and surge forward to surround you. Then you are lifted up on their shoulders and carried to the village square, where you begin a celebratory breakfast in your honor. The elders of the village try to make you accept a reward, but you know they are poor people, and you will have none of it. Keep your silver, you tell them. For your thanks, a reward enough. In any case, you know that in an adventurer's life, a bag of gold and a goblin are always just around the next corner. So, that was the end, and I think that was the best ending we could have hoped for. We didn't get any amazing treasure, but we killed Grim Dugald at least once. Came after us, but we did escape from his phantom hounds. We rescued Perdita. I guess we'll have to come up with a permanent solution as far as he goes. Maybe gather some holy water next time. Maybe find that Wraith Reaver sword. Maybe that would be some way we could finish him off for good. But anyway, thank you for everyone joining us here today on HeroQuest Fans. Tomorrow, the plan is to do a full stream with HeroQuest, the board game. And I'm hoping we can start on time, 6 p.m. Central until 10 p.m. Central. I'll have to coordinate with Strange Bus or anybody else that's playing. Sometimes we don't start exactly at 6 p.m., so it might be a little later. If we have to start a little later, that's fine. But just be watching for us on Twitch, HeroQuest fans on Twitch. Please join us on Discord. You can see at the bottom of your screen there that that is where we meet. And you're welcome to join. I know we had a couple people, at least one new person join us on Discord, so thank you. We like to give everybody a role. Oh, hey, Freelancer117, welcome. I didn't even see you there. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so I don't know, did you get to see much of the adventure? Or hear much of the adventure? Reading this Fellowship of Four book. You can join us on the Discord down there. So discord.gg, good game, / H, uppercase Y, uppercase E, uppercase B, lowercase X, lowercase S, like Sierra, uppercase K, uppercase G, uppercase C. And you can go ahead and chat to your heart's content. Also, if you visit Ye Olde Inn, that's not our forum, that's just a place where we like to hang out. Other members of the HeroQuest community, of which there are more every day. But yeah, thanks. So yeah, we're having another stream tomorrow night. So 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Time. Again, we'll try to get started on time if we can. But we'll be playing the HeroQuest board game live. And we have open slots for heroes. That's the other thing. So Strange Bus has been playing as the Barbarian. So if he comes back, he's going to be the Barbarian. That's the last minute or so. Okay. Well, spoilers. You can read this novel online. So Dave Morris released these 3 books that he wrote. So The Tyrant's Tomb, Screaming Spectre, or Screaming Skull, as it's sometimes called, and The Fellowship of Four. These are HeroQuest novels inspired by the board game, of course. But he released them in PDF and doc form online. So go to Fabled Lands blog. You can find download links. And if the links aren't working, you can actually message or you email Dave Morris himself, and he'll send you a link to just download it for free. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have all these cool illustrations from back in the day. It's got, because those are owned by Games Workshop, or actually be Milton Bradley in cooperation with Games Workshop from the original board game. See, I got these because I like the original illustrations. But yeah, join us. Check these novels out if you want. But yeah, someday I think I would love to. Well, I'd like to reread these 2 books, get the different endings, and then we can reread this another time. But you can read it on your own too if you want. It's kind of fun. Fellowship of Four, you control 4 heroes, and then these are each 1 hero. So Wizard, Barbarian. Yeah, Freelancer VODs, video on demands, are posted like right after the stream ends, so you can see them. Because I've made affiliate, and thanks to everybody that got us there, I have to wait 24 hours before I post anything that we stream here on YouTube. But when we do, so like in a couple days from now, XSC3, home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube, will have the full video. I mean, we'll edit out some of the BRB stuff if we can. But yeah. Yeah, so thanks, Freelancer. Sorry you missed the adventure, but yeah, we got the good ending this time. Towards the end, I think people were tired or busy, so I ended up making the choices. But I didn't know how it was going to end necessarily, so it was still fun for me. A thrill of discovery. All right. Okay, well, thanks, everybody. One final round of thanks. And Shadzar, if you're out there, I hope things are getting better for you. I actually have several people that I'm hoping can join us for future games, but they're have various illnesses, various family emergencies, and so we may not see them for a couple weeks, but you know who you are out there. Hope to see you soon, whether you're actually participating or just joining us to listen. Just knowing that you're all right is a good thing for me. Okay, so we had another new joiner besides Freelance. We also have Kitty Cat 513. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, you can watch the video on demand shortly because we're just about to close. But tomorrow we will be live on Twitch once again. We'll be on Discord if you want to participate. You can call in, just like a call-in show, and talk to us on the stream. We're going to be playing the HeroQuest board game. We're going to be playing the Frozen Horror once again, and I know we've been stuck on that quest pack for a while because it is super hard. I mean, back in 1992, I don't think they really realized what they were giving us. They were giving us the hardest official quest pack that's ever been released officially. Way harder than this, of course. But we've got the Barbarian that Strange Bus has been controlling. We've also got 2 Knights, 2 Guardian Knights. But this will be a brand new adventure. So Quest 2 Trial by Ice. And so we'll have the 2 Knights to support the Barbarian, and they've just bought some equipment. So they'll be a little stronger than before. Now, unfortunately, one of the Knights did perish in the last quest. So the question is, are we going to try to get a new hero in there? Are we going to try to find his body and see if we can revive him? Of course, we'd need an elixir of life to do that. So anything can happen, but I'm willing to be flexible and insert people into the quest if they want to join. I mean, within reason, of course. So, all right, I rambled enough. My voice is getting tired, so I'm going to close the stream here. Thank you once again to everybody. So, Zero Axe 2, Alien Gathering, another TV viewer, Dankin' Around, Elviler, Freelancer 117, Kitty Cat 513 Lurks, Saralna, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Sound Alerts, and we'll get those sound alerts working soon. Water, it's spelled 43RT3R, Winsant24, and of course Strange Bus, and anybody else that dropped in and dropped back out in the meantime. And the question is, do we want to raid somebody? I see Streamlabs, which probably doesn't need the help, but still, they've done a lot for us. And yeah, if you go on to Streamlabs, you can actually donate to Shadzar. Streamlabs.com/Shadzar/tip if you want to help him out. I know his family needed the help. They're facing eviction and have some health issues, so I'm sure you appreciate the support. Just on the left, let's see. Always end on a high note. Yeah, we try to. Yes. Okay, so we're seeing an ad right now, but let's raid somebody. How about Streamlabs? Just to show our support, just to show our appreciation. So it's an art channel. Okay. Yeah, Streamlabs is another service that you can use, but they have their own channel, and they supported us right away, so that's cool. So raid Streamlabs. All right, so anybody who wants to participate in the raid, just go ahead and join us there, and wish everybody a good day, and hope to see you tomorrow for another stream on HeroQuest Fans. All right. Hey, we got a nice group today, so. All right, everybody, have a great evening. See you tomorrow on HeroQuest Fans. Raid begins now. Woo!